Lift off. Here we are then, Racing Post Live. What a day it is to be on planet Earth. In association with Betfair, we go through the card this afternoon. Dave Orton thrilled to be back in the seat with you for another Saturday's top action. Well, looks like, fingers crossed, it could still happen. The big two turn up at Newcastle. Great stuff. The monster finally comes over the hill. We've already had a couple of races at Newbury where we're going as well. We're giving you race times, looking at all the ground. We've got a great panel for you out there. It's the day, isn't it? Constitution Hill in the Betfair fighting fifth. Wow, what a cast list we have for you this afternoon. The Coral Gold Cup 305. We sign off 340 at Newbury after a marvellous rehearsal chase as well. That's what handicap should be. Class horse, Gold Cup contender, Long Press, taking on a really progressive young horse in Into Overdrive. Let us know what you think wins all the races this afternoon, guys. We cover all the terrestrial TV races, of course. That is what it is, your second screen experience. Call it what you like. This is the place for raucous reaction, and it's going to be raucous this afternoon, let me tell you. Best anti-post analysis in the business. Betfair placing all the trades. We're doing it for charity. The last chance for us to get the merry month of November up into profit. We're doing so well with that as well. All right, who have I got on? There's the market. Again, I always say this, guys, if you're new to the show, there's the real market, the exchange. You see it, backing, laying. We're going to be educated. If you're new to the exchange, you're going to learn loads. If you're a seasoned pro, check out some of the trades we're going to give you this afternoon. I've got a great cast list with me. But let's hear from you. You can do it by liking and subscribing, of course. YouTube is the place to be for most of you. If you're on Facebook Live, get involved with the party. And anything on Twitter, hashtag RP Live. OK, who's back? Well, they were so popular during the Paddy Power meeting at Cheltenham on the Saturday, we had to get them back in. It is the boys are back. Can we get them both in? There they are, look. The two jocks, Mattie Batchelor, Charlie Poste. How are we doing, lads?
I'm feeling a bit full after that breakfast this morning, Dave.
Well, sure. Now, if you're lucky enough to come onto this show, Barry Orr's favourite place that we go for breakfast, it's the local cafe here. And I took the lads in, and we've even got some pictorial evidence for you out there, I think. There they are, look at that. Look at those plates of food. Slender individuals. And the thing to say is, I should have done it before and after, really, because it defeated me. It defeated me. You two, not a baked bean left on the plate.
Whoa. Hold on a minute. Me and Charlie have ordered like a quite small breakfast.
Hang on. That was not a small breakfast.
Smashed avocado.
Yeah. He's ordered a mega breakfast and surprised he hasn't eaten it.
Who has chips with their breakfast as well? Like, there's a poll for us. Who has chips with their breakfast?
Well, talking of polls, let's get it out in a minute. Once we are, the GOAT is back with us. Marc, the drone pilot, our very own favourite, deputising for Barry, who is, of course, up at Newcastle. If you're on the tune, go and see Constitution Hill. Go and see the great man as well. He looks like a big bear at the moment of a man, isn't he? But, Marc, how are you?
Yeah, the beard's growing strong from the gaffer. But, yeah, now, listen, looking forward to the action. Still got the big one at Newcastle, and I've got Newbury today as well. So, looking forward to it.
You've got a saying, haven't you? Come on, let's get it out of the way. Let's get it out of the way. Come on, what's your saying?
Well, hopefully we can say it today is not too far, not too far.
That is basically Marc's saying. So how far today for Constitution Hill? We are going to have a poll up for you guys, all right, on YouTube. How far does Constitution Hill win by? Go to YouTube. If you're watching there, you can see it. Get your votes in. Let's get it out early. Is this going to be a demolition like the Supreme? Is he going to win every race by 22 lengths? Does he win? Anyone pressing the A button out there? Let's see. You've got 0 to 5 all the way up to 22, which is what he won the Supreme by. The great horse comes back 210. We've got a lovely range of action for you today, haven't we? Absolutely. This is a great day to be involved in horse racing. All right, Will Robinson. Oh, Will's excited. This is a thing of beauty. Come on, Orton. Let's get the party started. Great day. Good card in Gowran Park, isn't it? We've always seen a smashing beginner's chase there. The Mullins Battalion coming out finally.
Sheveley Park getting back a bit of their 570 grand.
I said to you he was 350, classic getaway, of course, who got a quote for the National Hunt Challenge Chase, didn't he?
No,
look, we're making the GOAT work already. So get the poll out there. But we've seen some good horses. We saw Lucia,
yeah.
Very impressive.
Lucia.
Bolted up.
Lydia Hislop asked a great question to Henderson. She's good enough to take on the boys. And he said she might be, but she won't be.
And, of course, he was wearing very interesting haberdashery on his head, wasn't he? The hat.
We were waiting for the Cossack dancing.
Don Cossack was at Newbury today in the shape of Nicky Henderson, but of course it was the
Peter
great
O'Sullivan.
Sir Peter
O'Sullivan,
yeah. Winter hat. We all remembered it as soon as he said it. And the first race that we're going to be taking in is at 120. We've got plenty of time for that, but there's the market. It's always a competitive one. Classic getaway. National Hunt Challenge
Such as
chase?
got Lucia first, 4-1 favourite now for the mares after that impressive display today. I need to get that one up for you as well for the national.
Is that a bad price?
Last mare to win the Supreme Novice Hurdle.
Last mare to win the Supreme Novice. How long ago are we talking?
A long time ago. Famous gamble it was.
Oh, I wouldn't have got that.
It was like a butterfly. Like a butterfly.
Yeah.
Was a mare one since?
Yeah, she beat Adamant Approach.
And West Ender for Pipe, I think.
Brookhouse colours, wasn't it? West End.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Could she be going against the boys? She's good enough, but will Nikki run her? Probably not.
Good
Stick
racing
to the mares.
tomorrow
Too
as well,
valuable,
Dave.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Great races tomorrow. Troy
American
Town.
Mike runs
American Mike coming back out. Some very, very good horses. We are now, we're now fully in the swing. Last Saturday, we were all a bit deflated, guys, weren't we? Let's face it. But I don't know, do we have to wobble our heads a little bit? Because he's back out now, isn't he? You know, everyone. And the two horses that caused all the controversy coming out late at Ascot are on the same card a week later.
Yeah, which is ironic. But I think what we have to, as an industry, they've got to get their heads together and sort it out, haven't they? You can't have a big card like that with walkovers, match races for Grade 2. So there's two things. There's either the trainers are being too flaky about running these horses, or the tracks aren't being honest about the going descriptions. There were worrying quotes, I thought, from two of the big trainers about almost that there was risks attached to running at Ascot, which is one of our premier racetracks. Well, Alan King and Nicky Henderson. You know, I think that actually wants delving into further what's meant by that. You know, as in, I think Alan said that he hadn't really ran a horse at Ascot that hadn't come back with problems this season. And Nicky said if he ran Constitution Hill, he'd probably be in his box for another year. Now, what is meant by that? Because, really, questions need to be answered about that.
Okay, all right. So, look, we can get a little political if you want, but we've got Batch here to keep it light, don't worry. This is your big day, of course, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
2011. Who'd have ever thought, all these years later, here you are.
Oh, I know, yeah. I like talking about it, Dave. Love living in the past.
You were there yesterday, weren't you?
I went there yesterday, yeah. So I think I've seen the Supreme Novice Hurdle
Look
winner.
at this, look at that. What's his name?
Jet Powered.
Jet Powered. He was a proper propeller, that one.
Proper.
Yeah.
And cheap he was, 350 grand.
I mean, classic getaway should be thrashing that every time they meet, shouldn't they? And of course, who put that up for you earlier in the season? Dave Orton.
How do you pick that one out?
I don't know.
I mean, it's very tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. What price did you get for the Supreme when I told you this was an absolute airplane?
16s.
There you go.
14s.
What
You
price-
could have had
what
some of
price
that as
now?
well.
He's 4-1.
You getting out then?
Nah, I like backing winners. I don't lay off, you know. But classic getaway 25s into 10s now as well.
For the National Hunt Challenge
yeah,
chase.
10 to
We
1
saw
best before,
McFabulous take a race as well, didn't we? Won really well, didn't he? But that novice chase, okay, it was 3 runners. It's cut up. Say what we like about that. I'm going to come to you on the ground in a sec, Batch, because you were there yesterday and you got an interesting opinion on it, because there were a lot of fast times there yesterday, and obviously, you know, the selective watering has been done. But they were both old boys, weren't they, Time Hill and McFabulous? If they're the kind of novice chasers that we've got over, we're in trouble again at the Cheltenham Festival.
Dan's was quite disappointing. Pushima beat a long way out.
He had something wrong right with him, was he? Champ, of course,
Didn't
and Tracy
travel.
Park yesterday. But the grounds yesterday, a lot of people saying it was really, really quick when they turn up, The words you were getting from the jocks were?
No, I was talking to Gavin Sheehan in the WAN room, and he'd rode in a chase, and he thought it was nice, and some places on the easy side. Okay, it all depends what horse you're riding. But Emma Lavelle come in and said, how's it compared to the last meeting? He said, it's much better than the last meeting. So, yeah, it's...
We're trending the right way.
Well, see, a lot of it depends on the horses you're riding as well, Charlie, doesn't it?
Of course it does, yeah.
You can come back and say, yeah.
As in, if you've won the
It
race...
was always pudding when you were riding.
I was saying, I saw a very good tweet. Can I just read this out the other day?
Go on,
So
then.
imagine trying to describe the ground going description to someone not involved in racing. It's good to soft officially, but the jockey said it's quicker. But the time suggests it's slower, but this track often rides quicker. An autumn good to soft is different to spring good to soft. Farcical.
Well, there we go. But anyway, never listen.
Who put that down? Jeff Stigl.
Race times obviously are imperative, and we're all, of course, hoping to see Constitution Hill in an hour's time. The poll is out there. How far? How far? And of course, we've got a couple of races down already. I can tell you, good to soft, of course, it's officially called up at Newcastle. We've got Lee Mottershead and Dave Carr there today, the best reporters in the business, up there for us. And they will be looking very closely at what Connection's saying about the ground. Slow by 12.81, the first race. Slow by 11.23. It's fine. The ground is fine up there if you're going on those race times. I haven't
Well,
seen...
that's definitely slow side of good, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't seen whether they are, very tiny, sort of, small after you races. But But look, that's fine. The ground is all right, okay? At Newbury, it's a little bit more lively, but Lucia looks sound there as well. So that's the ground.
You're on the line to Henderson, are you? Don't worry, I've checked it out.
It's all good, buddy. Well, he's not
go.
gone up there, has he?
No.
So he's going to be relying on the team up there. Okay, let us get a Trixie underway, please, because the multiple offer still stands, right, Mark?
Yeah, we got bet £10 on multiples and get a £10 free bet. Usually go for the each way lucky, but got a lot of non-runners today, so went for the each way Trixie. Got a £5 each way Trixie. So the three that we've got on, we've got the 120 Newbury, we've got Dublin 4, 11 to 2, 305 Newbury, Fiddler on the Roof, 11 to 1. And to wrap things up, the 325 went for the big bite of Henry Oliver's, 10 to 1. This one was 25, so been a lot of support for this one, but looks quite an open race.
What's that paying, buddy?
This one pays £5 each way Trixie, pays £5,911.
That'll be going to charity if the multi gets on the move. And a reminder, it's the merry month of Movember, of course. There are some interesting Movembers going around at the moment, aren't there? None of us obviously had a go.
No.
No.
Next year, maybe.
Next year, maybe.
Yeah.
Handlebars. All right, yeah, maybe. If you want to see it, let us know. So let's
Or like Barry, just a full-on beard.
Barry's done his own thing. Absolutely, he's really gone for it, hasn't he?
He's like
I
Roy
wonder if it
Keane.
stays. That'll be very interesting to see, won't it? There you go. There's a reminder. If you want to just small outlay, have some fun through the afternoon. We're going to have loads of fun here this afternoon. It's what it's all about. As a sport, we're really going to celebrate it this weekend. We had our say last weekend. Let's get on with it. Let's have a great jump season now, please. And okay, all right, 120, Dublin 4. He's got a really solid chance in our opener. Fiddler on the Roof then, in the big one, to go one better than last year. And the Big Bite, a very interesting horse in the rehearsal chase. First time out. All right, talented animal. Okay, you can get involved. There's the market then. Let's get some tips out of the way. So I'm assuming this is a straight trade as well, is it?
Yeah, I like Dublin 4. Encouraging run at Weatherby a month ago behind Mark Wolford's Progressive into Overdrive. This one runs later, it's 4 from 4. Very strong in the betting behind La Home Press. Stable, 21% strike rate last 2 weeks. Paddy Brennan on board, course and distance winner, handles conditions. Off 133, I think this one can be competitive. Has been very strong in the betting. It's currently favourite on the Betfair Exchange right now at 6.2. So what we're going to do is we're going to back this one win in place. So at 6.2, we'll have a £12.50 win, and that knocks out £65 profit on the Betfair Exchange. We'll see if we can get matched. We'll hold that one just now, and we'll go on the 3-place market. We'll back this one 2.38, so roughly around the 11 to 8 mark. £12.50 knocks out £17.25 profit. So see if we can get matched. Okay, we're still waiting to get matched. We'll knock this down one tick. So we're on at 5 to 1. Bets on to win 62.50. Dublin 4.
Bets on. Not
Bets
too
on.
far, Paddy. Not too far.
It's a bit too early for the distance bets, but I think this one.
When Mark has a
is
winner,
the winner.
basically, when we're with him, he shouts, "Not too far!" We love it. Absolutely love it. So if you've got any celebrations out there, let us know. That's going to be Mark's phrase, that's for sure. Anyone else following Mark in? Paddy Brennan, Fergal O'Brien.
No, I'm going with the Machine.
Oh, the Machine.
Named after a great colleague of ours, Leighton Aspel, because he was a phenomenal runner when he posted. He was
Yeah.
posted great times in the marathon, and he was known as.
That's why he's called the Machine.
That's
is it?
why he's called the Machine. Yeah, but you know he's wedgie on board, great talent, runs well fresh. Winner at Utoxeter in May, so yeah, the Machine for me.
He does like Utoxeter. He
Yeah.
won a very, very hot form race there on his return last year. He has had
finished
a
fifth
few
in
problems. Fifth in the big one. He
Yeah.
just didn't stay.
Travelled
did he?
really well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I like him a lot as well. I thought Wedgie was the icing on the cake for this chap. They probably laid him out for this, I would imagine. Paul Nicholls has got a great record in this, of course. Cap Course has won it twice. A little bit higher in the weights now. He's been quite easy to back, Mark, hasn't he? Killer Kane seems to be very weak.
On the sportsbook on Thursday. Paul Nicholls runner, but very weak, out to 9.28 to 1 on the Betfair Exchange right now.
There's 11 non-runners already today at Newbury, just to let you know. Do you count them? How many have we got at Newcastle?
No, it's 10 across the televised races.
Oh,
that
is
they're
there?
doing
They're 10
across
across
the
our
board,
races
yeah,
so
yeah.
far. All right, so some people aren't happy with it. Dan Skelton's pulled a couple out. I'm really gutted that Picard doesn't go, but that doesn't, you know, we've got First Street, lights of that coming out. We've got some really competitive handicaps, you know, across the board. And of course, we cannot wait to see what Constitution Hill is going to do up against Epatante and that lot. But I'm with the Machine as well. He's a horse that you might remember if you've been watching the show regularly, that I've been with. He's definitely had a few problems, but
Second run back from the wind up as well.
don't mind that. And I think he's pretty good fresh. So
He is good fresh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that. And when he won at Ascot, ooh, on the bridle. it was
You
absolutely
love that,
lovely.
don't you? That's one of yours, yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
That's
Quite
one of mine.
creepy.
Not too far for Mark, and I've got the.
That means they're on the bridle.
That means
Yeah.
on the bridle, is it?
I know. No,
It's quite weird.
It freaks Natalie Green out and a couple of other people that we work with.
Me.
But I know, I got it good. Let's get some tips out there for you. Let's hope you're enjoying the show so far. Welcome along if you've just gone on board. What a weekend of racing we've got for you. Trevor Clark comes on and says, Trixie, following Marc in, you're going, Trevor, for Killer Kane in this first race. Current Mood for Evan Williams. That's probably another wedgie one, isn't it? And First Street as well to defy the weight in the Jerry Fielden. Paul Bakewell, come on, Paul. Good to see you again. The only way Cap Course is trained for, each way to make a profit, and of course carrying the great man's colours as well. Sir Peter as well. That's great memories of that. And Will comes on and says, Killer Kane should come on from the last run. They've got a really well fancied horse, haven't they, in our last race, of course, the Tiz Odds as well.
Amarillo
Skies, same colours.
Another expensive point-to-pointer. This guy was a 300 grand Irish point-to-pointer, Killer Kane. And he's been disappointing, hasn't he, really?
To be rated 128 is something of a disappointment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyone on the Zanza train? It's seen that Paul Keeley and Tom Seagull. Tom Keeley, there would be a
The
chat.
first time blinkers, he ran better, didn't he? At Weatherby on his last start. But
I mean, you've got to be a brave man to be going with Zanza. Yes, he's
he's a bit of a loser, isn't he?
He's a bit of a loser. Somewhat harsh, but he's a bit of a lunatic, I think. That is for sure.
Won for 2 years, has he?
No, he's been second in the Paddy Power Gold Cup, you know what I mean? He's just one of those. Is he the ultimate cliff horse for you out there? Let us know. Great to have you joining on board. This is your afternoon to have the shout-outs. What are you expecting here tactic-wise before we go to Marc for a final update? Front runners in here? Because a couple have come out. We've got Kitty's Light in here,
yeah, exactly. I mean, a couple of the pace options are out of this race. I mean, so it is going. I mean, you'd imagine the machine will be ridden positively, won't he?
I wouldn't mind that.
You know.
Java Point potentially.
Java Point can go forward as well, yeah. So I mean, I would imagine we're going to have enough of a gallop on here.
Maybe the Cane as well for you out there, the Killer Cane. Marc, final market update as the runners arrive at the post.
Java Point, very popular, 14s into 8.6, still shorting up right now for Tom Scudamore. Looks like Dublin 4 is going to go favourite here, 5.5. There's still money coming for this one. The backers 5.5, 5.6, 9 to 2. But I tell you, the Capra course of Paul Nicholls very weak, out to 11.5, pretty friendless. This one's a big price in the 4 as well, nearly 15 to 8 to place in the 4 here.
That'd have to be a concern, wouldn't it? If you're keen on Cap course, I mean, like it's from connections that are normally on the
ball, yeah.
When fancied, and a dual winner of this race, you'd think if it was prime for repeating this, it wouldn't be so weak, wouldn't you?
I'm just going to look at its previous SPs when reading the race. It was 13-2 last year and 12-1.
Maybe not then.
Yeah. I seem to remember because it's JP horse, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think, you know,
and JP
was a great friend, of course.
Yeah, that he runs them in their colours in this race, doesn't he? In Sir Peter O'Sullivan's colours.
It was down to Sir Peter basically that he got the likes of Barracuda, wasn't it? And First Gold. Oh, good horses.
Yeah.
First Gold was a rocker, wasn't he? All right, we've got another social. Kerry Cornane. Is that how it's? Yeah, Kerry Cornane. I got 3 up from 3 runners in a Super Hinds. Next up comes Sansa.
Brave.
Unlucky, Kerry.
Nice knowing you, Kerry. Look, we wish you all the best with that, of course, man. And if it comes off, Kerry, we'll give you the welly in here, all right? Don't worry about that. There's going to be some raucous scenes, as I said. We've got Sam and Will in the gallery for us today, doing all the good stuff. They'll be clipping everything up out there on social for you. Jamie John Bond Phil be out there for us.
What do you think the crack is with Kitty's Light and Captain Ord at the moment?
Strong on the exchange.
Which one?
28s into 20s, Kitty's Light. Both of them, both strong.
Haven't spoken to Christian for a little while, and I think it probably is going to be about going back to the likes of the old Racing Post chase at Kempton, which he looked like he was going to win in Captain Ord.
So yeah, we think this is like a stepping stone along the way.
I think he had a pretty hard season as well.
Yeah.
He's had some tough old race, hasn't he? We love him. I just wonder whether this is his track. Did he run in the? He ran in the Coral Gold Cup last season, didn't he? I seem to remember. He got lapped nearly, didn't he? Yeah, he pulled up behind Cloudy Glen. He was quite well fancy for that as well. And Captain Ord, like the ground, I think. Ellis Collier, don't know much about him.
Yeah, he's a capable young rider. Yeah. I mean, he ran well behind Froden on his last start as well, didn't he, Captain Ord?
Yes. He's good value for the £7. I like
He is, yeah.
look at him, yeah. He's good value.
Yeah.
It's good to see Brendan riding. He had a nasty fall yesterday.
Brendan.
And looked a bit, Brendan Powell.
He's got the fancied Amarillo Sky.
Yeah, looked a bit sore yesterday, but it's good to see him.
Yeah, all right, okay, great stuff. All right, good to have you out there, guys. This is the first race of, I think, 7, is it, that we're bringing you here? A tip in each race from the panellists. I'll tell you what, last time...
8 races.
8 races. The last time, I was selling a short. The last time we were doing some sterling tipping, weren't we? Batch was
I think
absolutely
we went through the card, to be honest, Dave.
He was
Every dog has his day, Batch.
He was like the Tory, wasn't he? Yeah.
The magnificent 7.
In what respect?
All we were lacking was the flying dismount off the chair.
Absolutely.
I'll give you one of them if you want it.
Yeah, it's floating through the air. We've got Walking on Air coming back, haven't we? What an exciting race that's going to be as well against West Bilbao and a couple of others as well. Keep your tips coming in, guys. Keep the in running. socials coming in, if you like, as well. Because we're away, we're off. D Machine went off favourite in the end, Mark, or was it close between him and Killicane?
Dublin 4s went off 5.9. Very close
totally
to 4 on
wrong.
the top of the betting. Zanza is quite strong. It's went off around 11-2.
Okay, all right. Well, good luck, Kerry, with that. Killicane has indeed gone off. We were hoping for a bit of pace, Posty, and the expensive point. A bit fresh, is he out there in front?
No, I think he's getting away into a nice rhythm. I
What's that head carriage about?
I thought Java Point. I think that's just his way of going, Dave. You know, he does gallop with his head up slightly. Java Point was a fraction keen early. Demachine, Cap Course, settling handy away. Who's it? Senior Citizen, Giacomo, Mig Pack, and the enigmatic Zanzar 3/4 of the way back on the outside.
He certainly is enigmatic, isn't he? Kitty's out the back batch as well, Captain Orr, and Dublin 4 sees them in, mate. What sort of gallop are we going?
A sensible gallop. Suspected for the ground. Brendan's in a nice rhythm. He's got him out in front. Yeah, I won't worry too much about the head carriage, Dave, to be honest.
This will set a trend potentially, guys, for the afternoon, won't it? Front-running performances in staying chases. Cap Course certainly up there today. Java Point, haven't seen him for a long time. He looks like he's full of himself. Demachine's got a lovely posse, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I was just thinking what a lovely way of going he has as well. Like head bowed down low, you know, taking nice grip of the reins. Adam Wedge got the box seat there.
Tell you who will really like this ground, Senior Citizen as well. I haven't mentioned that. He went for another go, didn't he, at the Grand Sefton, and just got bogged down, basically. For the McNeils, who are having a great season again. He's absolutely winged that one as well. Is that the ditch, Patchy? Was that the ditch?
No.
This is the ditch. This is what is the third last, basically, as they come through. So we've got a circuit to go, basically. Let's see how they take this, because some courses get put off by this fence, don't they? We saw Time Hill, didn't we, in that novice chase we were watching in the office before we
Just
came on.
overjumped it a bit, didn't he?
Overjumped it. Went to the moon and back.
Too much
Someone
height,
said spending plenty of time in the air.
Yes.
He goes for the, surely.
Senior Citizen missed out there.
Where does Time Hill go now? He's a 4-miler horse, and he's an Asphalt chase horse, is he? He would be tomorrow.
Possibly,
Is
yeah.
he even up to that level these days?
I don't know. Questions to answer, isn't there?
It's a funny head carriage. So you can let us know what you think about that.
He was
guys,
quite
as
keen
well.
early as well, wasn't he?
I'll tell you what, Dimachine absolutely stagged it.
His favourite in running right now, 7-2 on the Betfair Exchange.
Who are they queuing up for,
The
Coach?
machine.
They want the machine in Dublin 4 in running here. Paul Nicholls, Cap Course is quite short as well. That's training at 5-1. It's went off 11.6.
Over the water they go, and Cap Course absolutely saw a stride there, unlike Killicane.
Killicane just got in tight,
a little bit deliberate, would you call
Well, he
that?
just made it on a really tight stride, so you see the horse almost like move his feet quickly to put himself on that short shot, but sort of landed a little bit flat-footed because of that, but back on an even keel now. Brendan Powell straight back into the saddle, chased him away from the fence, get him right back up into the position and travelling well again.
Oh, you can tell they got the bit between the teeth, the jocks here. What you loved about the Paddy Bower meeting was how they're telling you exactly the body language of the jockeys out there. What's catching your eye, Batch?
Just the machine. He's in a great position down here now. Wedgie, and he's the jockey's dream. He's got his head down, taking a nice hold and just jumping. He's just enjoying it,
The
Wedgie.
jockey's dream.
They agree in running anyway. He's 3-1 in running right now. The machine Zanza's friendless out to 16s.
We wondered whether he might be a Turner sort of horse, didn't we? Do you remember when he went to Ascot and won? He was in such a rich vein of form, wasn't he? And then for whatever reason, he had a couple of problems. I think he got bogged down in one of his races. But he's a graded horse potentially in a handicap here, if it's all right. And Adam Wedge just makes such a good sight, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah. I mean, he's a very, very natural rider.
The pro's pro?
Yeah, I think very much
definitely,
so,
yeah.
There you go, all right. Okay, Kitty's light was on and off the bridle. That, and we know Kitty's can do that. Where's Zanza then for Kerry out there? He's just got a nice midfield sit. I'll tell you what, he's not taking any distress signals yet.
Keeps
Kerry.
getting
Giggling
chased
a little
away.
bit,
Like,
yeah.
if you watch Tom O'Brien's heel every time he has to turn it into the horse, trying to encourage him to go forward and take the bridle.
And what about the goat? Where's the goat's horse? Dublin 4. Not too far, Paddy.
At the back on the outside here, 9-2 in running.
Travelling well, though.
Cap Course 9-2.
Oh,
Adam
goat's
Wedge
getting
11-4.
excited. Look at him. You can tell in his eyes.
We'll see what Paddy's got under the bonnet, but every chance coming on the outside. I think Zanza looks beat here.
One of the you never know his Xander. He'll run on when you think he's beat. Okay, Killer Kane then. This is where they start to get racy. This is what they call the cross fence, which is basically 5 out guys.
Yeah, lots of chances here. I mean, you couldn't really say anything is beat yet. This jump over this cross fence is going to count for plenty.
Absolutely winging them. Yeah, Senior Citizen was the worst jump so far. I think we could say Kitties, you can put another 0 on now. Zanza warming up, guys.
Yeah.
Dublin 4 warming up. All the big players there then, and we turn in the Peter Sullivan Memorial. Great memories of Sir Peter, of course. Captain Orr on the inside, not done with. I'll tell you what, Zanza gets a whip, but do not discount him. Here we go, Batch. This is 4 out. Come on, we need to win this, Batchy. The machine. Look at Wedgie sitting there.
Wedgie, look.
Look, get a sight. Over he goes. Oh, that's an absolute sword enough. What's he got, Marc?
Come on,
Has he got
Wedgie.
no?
5 to 4, Dimitri. Here comes Paddy.
Oh, it's going to be. I think the panel are going to get this. I think Zan's
Come
maybe
on.
just feeling it now. 3 out they go.
Come on,
Killer
Wedgie.
Kane's still there.
Paddy's
Wedgie's going
made
for
a
it.
really
He
bad
doesn't want to
mistake.
go too soon on this horse. You can tell.
Wedgie.
Zanza's coming back. Look at Dublin 4. He's up and down on the spot as the handicapper got him.
Zanza.
Over 2 out we go. Zanza's going to be the danger. Kerry Corney. Oh my goodness gracious me.
Zanza.
This is unbelievable scenes. If Zanza can get up, he's thinking, hang on a minute, what am I doing in front here?
Zanza.
Wow, he's absolutely gone. This is the day. Kerry,
Go on,
well
Kerry.
in, my old
Good man,
son.
Kerry.
Absolutely
Well done.
superb. If you weren't watching, you're wondering what we're on about. We had a listener coming in, a viewer saying, I've got a big old multiple coming onto Zanza. We were like, are you mad, man? Tom Siegel puts him up. Paul Keeley put him up. They hate it when they tip each other's horses. They think it's a double penalty. That could have gone round again. Machine in second, Java Point, a solid return in third.
I tell you what, though, I know what you're saying. He's a wide margin winner, but you watch that ride back. It was a very, very good ride. The horse he's a quirky character. He never really looked that happy. Ears back the whole way around. He kept getting in deep to the odd fence, and you just watch the way Tom O'Brien, as soon as he landed, got him straight back up into position where he wanted him to be, made sure the horse could never really drop his interest at any stage. And then once he's turned for a home, he's a quirky customer, but he's close enough to be bang there, and he's come home really well. But like I say, for a wide margin winner, a really good technical ride that
How
from Tom O'Brien.
high did he trade Marc Hryhorskyj?
26 season running. Thought he might have traded a bit higher for £11, BSP 6.8. Adam Wedge, he's traded 1.56 for £349. Did look the likely winner. to be
I mean,
fair,
I know
didn't
the winners won well. Do we think the machine's just seen a bit too much of the front early?
Maybe.
Well, listen, the winners won well.
I mean, you take the winner out, and he's run a perfectly adequate race. He might have run up a little bit short. And here he comes back on, Kerry. This is what we want to see.
Oi, oi.
Go on,
Oi,
Kerry.
boys, not too
Good
far,
man.
Tom, not too far.
I think the Dublin 4s hit 2 to 1 for 140. Came there
You were
travelling,
getting excited.
Just clattered
He's
the fence, made a big
Did he?
mistake. Went from 2 to 1 out to 85s, race over. Made a mistake, 3 out.
The Grade 1 fences of Newbury have already lit up this afternoon, and we've got the big one to come at 3:05 there. Where are we? We are T-minus 40 minutes away from the monster coming over the hill. Cannot wait for Constitution to come back. Epatante, not so sleepy. Hopefully we'll make that the Betfair Fighting Fifth, of course. One of the showpieces. We've got the Tingle Creek, the Betfair Tingle Creek, next Saturday as well. It's great to be here, isn't it? And really good to see a big field going hammer and tongs there. Anything to, sort of business from that? That was
Paddy.
the ever from Dublin 4.
Yeah, it was kind of like Paddy was seeing a decent shot, like he's going for, and then at the last stride, he wasn't quite sure it was there, and he sat still, and the horse just fluffed it completely.
All right, we must move on. Where are we going? It's Newcastle next, isn't it? 1:35. A small field comes up, but Charlie Poste really fancies one. We'll find out exactly what after Marc gets another chance to trade his way to glory.
I found this race very difficult, so Charlie, the floor is yours. Yeah.
I mean, to chip off the old block, aren't you? Absolutely. Listen, it's all about safe gambling out there, guys. We've got 8 races this afternoon. If in doubt, stay out. That's the golden rule, isn't it? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, genuinely, I thought this race was very competitive. So if one of you boys want to put
Get
one on, if you
the
agree,
charity
Well, I'm
Right.
going to echo your thoughts, Marcus, and give it to Chuck now.
It's all on Posty. The
all right,
merry
yeah.
month of November
Shan too
rests on
lucky.
your
Shan too
shoulders.
lucky for me.
Is that what you're going
That's
for?
what I'm going with, yeah.
Right, before Posty reveals this big chart, and actually you really do fancy this, let's go for the Shantou case.
Yeah, I think it's just a good hurdler, chaser, 5-year-old, unexposed, good fourth in a handicap at Fairy House, and a very good trainer when he comes over here. I think you have to take notice.
Yeah, okay, all right, fair enough. So that is absolutely fine. I'm happy to give you that case. I'm just looking down. Buckley, or Gav Cromwell, he had first 2 runners at Paddy Power meeting. Something had won, hadn't it, like 3 days earlier, and it comes or got beaten on, and then comes and wins, and then he has horses at big prices running well.
And Buckley, good pilot, Posty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, but not as good. You're hoping.
Well, I really like Malinello in this race. It's awesome. You're going to take the mick that we had through the yard early on.
Oh,
in his
ring the
career.
bell. We get
Yeah.
Racing Post Live.
He's,
Betfair bingo here.
He's
That's
he's
one of Posties.
he's a half brother to Cogri, who's a very good staying chaser for
One
Twisted
big
Novice.
advert, isn't it?
And he had decent novice hurdle form. He actually ran behind third time lucky in a bumper, funnily enough.
Oh, another one. Ding, 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 ding.
And he was narrowly beaten by a horse called Switch Hitter as well in novice hurdle. which
Boss!
another one
Got that trick up. That's
So,
it. Well, if you're
yeah.
wondering what you're on about, Posty runs a graduation for the jumpers, and he's got.
Does he?
You never would know, would you? You never would know. Next to the game down to Australia.
You never mention it.
That long, you never even knew.
Yeah, you think you know someone.
I know. If you ever watch his Twitter, as I always say, it's very annoying all week. He's like, another notch on the bedpost.
Yeah, exactly.
And, but you obviously this chap you know a bit about, and you think he's waiting for fences.
He's been off a long time, but he's a big scopy horse. He's had the wind up as well, and he's got tongue strap on since he's been off. I think Ben Pauling, I read somewhere, has got very good strike rate with first-time chasers. Yard's been in flying form since the move to his new stables at Norton Golf Club, and like I say, I think there's plenty of upside in this horse to go and chasing.
Is he a keen golfer, Ben? Is that? I mean, because
No.
I saw a lovely feature. I think it was probably Sky, was it, or ITV? I can't remember. Apologies to whoever put that piece together. But great piece about how he said, we wanted to design the golf course, around it. And I'm thinking to myself,
the yard around the golf course.
yeah,
the golf
I know,
course
but he was talking about the golf course. He was talking about how he wanted to go with certain holes and things like this in sight and all that sort of stuff, wasn't he? I think he was getting really into talking about the golf course.
I think it's just basically the land was fairly cheap because it was a golf course, obviously, and they managed to incorporate the yard into it.
He wasn't worried about going
sound
four all the time. He can't
business
see anything anyway, Ben, can he?
No.
He's like, he literally is a chip off the old block with Nicky.
We're going to back these both singles, okay? So we're going to have a tenner on Shantu Lucky, 15 on Manello.
I mean, that is a blow to Poste, isn't it?
What's that?
I said Poste's got one that's really well fancied in it, and he's putting batches at the
Yeah,
trade.
but you watched Matt Batchelor on the show last time. He was in irresistible form.
We're going to bet them both, £25, Dutch them both.
Okay, all right. So that's how we're playing this, all right? Lord Rocco is an interesting horse, I think, in a small field. Someone suggested to me yesterday he was going to go really, really well. For James Hewitt and Danny McMenamin. Danny will be on, of course, Tommy Zoska, won't he?
Yep.
Coming up. Tommy Zoska, brave decision to run. Good decision. Get
Fair
your
play
horses
to him,
out.
yeah. Good
Hamilton's,
prize
yeah.
money on the line, isn't there? Place money.
Just ran well at Cheltenham over fences, didn't he?
I think he just bumped in on a smart horse, didn't he?
Banbridge.
Yeah, and I think he's a better horse over hurdles. I don't think he's really took the fence. I mean, he's got that close to Banbridge as well.
He was a bit sketchy over him, I remember now. I quite fancy
He got
him for that.
impeded coming around the bend last time out.
You think he's might be a forecaster, right?
I mean, I backed him for the champion hurdle each way.
Are we
66s.
lengthening our odds? It's a feature on Betfair, isn't it? If you don't know, you can do it. It's a very popular one. Are we going to? Because we've got the poll out there. Keep your votes coming in for the poll.
Tommy's Oscar, lengthen
How
your
far?
odds.
How far for Constitution Hill?
You want me to lengthen the odds for
I'm not
Tommy's
going to
Oscar?
lengthen. I mean, you'll be getting monstrous prices, right?
I think you run a big race, second or third on the cards. I want to be against Epiton.
All right, okay. I've just got them in my ear saying, yeah, we're going to be ending that poll during the next Newbury race, which will be the handicap hurdle.
Money for both of these now as well. Manello went at 4.2 and 6.8 for Shantu
I
Lucky.
think they're getting
The value-
sucked in by Batch's form from last time he was on the show.
Son of the Somme was fancied last time, Mark, wasn't it? It was beaten Fav, and they're now going for the pieces. Nathan Moscrop for Brian Ellison.
Yeah, I backed it last time. Got beat, no good. They've already the winner on the card at Newcastle, second race. Didn't back that one either.
I
But
think
yeah.
Brian Ellison's on a treble. Did he not win the
He
French
won
Furs as well?
He did. He
Yeah.
won the French Furs. Mufasa was a very disappointing, very, very disappointing. The hat-trick seeking Mufasa got sunk in the French Furs.
And if you
obviously
do
proceedings.
follow the run to form rating, Brian Ellison's 71% at the moment.
Absolutely flying.
Yeah.
Loving life, the Mackham supporter. All right, okay, all right. So the poll remains out there. How far for Constitution Hill? How far? Not too far, Nick. Oh, no, I don't know. Well, there's a lot said, like, go back to the flat, it seems like a lifetime ago, wasn't it? A lot said about they weren't extending for
Yeah, I mean, do you think, like, if Constitution Hill goes clear on the bridle, that he's going to really punch him out
No,
to win, like, by a long way?
not at all.
Would they be? You're saying that as if, like, all right, I've got plenty under the bonnet, Governor. Is that the sort of thing that you'll think why wouldn't he punch him out? Is what
Because-
people will be
Well, I just
asking.
think early on in the year,
It's
there's
his
no
first run,
way.
yeah, there's no way he's gonna-
if he can win on the bridle by a couple of lengths, I think he'll win on the bridle by a couple of lengths.
Here's something I want to know from racing world out there as well. Where does he go now this season, Constitution Hill? What does he go to the International? Does he go to not Christmas?
No
Hurdle
way.
horses?
There's no way Nicky's going to back him up in 2 weeks to the International.
What? Okay. What about something over the Christmas period then?
Would
Could
you
he
think he'd go
to
Christmas
Ireland?
hurdle?
I'm not sure.
Back
he's a
to his
captain horses.
box, odds on. I'd say.
Kerry
Yeah.
comes back on. Danny Mac, the most underrated jockey in the UK. Man is mustard. Well, you're mustard out there with your punting at the moment.
He's very
Kerry.
good. I don't know why he's underrated. Why do you say that? He's still getting plenty of rides.
He rides for.
Well, I think he's a
he used to
northern
ride for
jockey.
Ellison, didn't
Yeah,
he?
and he rides
Being
for
up north
Nicky
doesn't help,
Richards.
yeah.
You weren't having that, were you?
No, I wasn't having that.
Rides for Nicky Richards and that.
Yeah, okay. So he's won a great hurdle, hasn't he? Of course, on Nitsch. Is that how I pronounce it? Nitsch. I think I finally nailed it after all these years. All right, but I can tell you that out in front at the moment is, let's have a look, Dave, get the card up, Dave. Big difference. The outside of the lot, and Harry Reid takes them along at a leisurely gallop on it weekend. So I wouldn't say it's steady.
I
but
would.
It's a moderate gallop.
Steady.
Steady as walking. That's
No,
what
it's
you
not.
would call it. Right, listen, I write the analysis at the paper, mate. All right, so it's my definition. You're going to have to.
Oh,
you're gonna
hang
have
on
to
a
live
sec.
with it.
Just concentrate here instead of bickering with me.
Lord, I love a
Son of the
bicker.
Psalm went badly left there at the first.
Lord Rocco was he impeded?
He
there?
was
he was
impeded,
happy.
Okay, all right.
Oh, and Malinello's come up out of Luca Morgan's hands there.
His favourite in running, 7 to 4, 2.8.
What? Because he's
Manella.
eyeballing the leader.
Well, they're going so
Exchange has
slowly.
reacted.
I think the horse, instead of taking an extra stride the jockey wanted to, he's kind of let fly at the fence. But often that can happen when they're going so slowly that you almost want the horse to go forward a bit more and sort of get into a more correct rhythm than hacking round at this leisurely tempo just above walking speed.
Yeah, you avoided Steady. Well done. And talking about Steady, you want him to go a bit faster on your champ, don't you? Because he's not really liking it out the back, is he? And he's jumping a bit slow. That was better.
Yeah, a bit slow, a bit deliberate.
Shot too lucky, of course.
He don't seem to be enjoying it, Shantu. He's just every.
What do we think of Shantu as a sire, Posty? Just quickly, sorry.
Shantu, good sire, was underrated for quite a long time. Yeah, well able to get a good jumper. Nothing wrong with him.
All right, okay. All right, Batch, sorry. Yeah, he's just been a little bit ponderous, isn't he?
Yeah, a bit ponderous, and every time he's landed, Buckley's just sort of pushing him away from the fences every time he's landed.
And the market has responded to that, Mark. He's gone all the way out,
Yeah,
hasn't he?
he's 22s, Shantu lucky. Malinello's 2.74, 7 to 4 in running here. Lord Rocco, 9 to 4, 3.2. I think Malinello's going really well in front here, jumping well.
Son of the Somme on the inside and fourth. Looks like he's certainly got his mind on the job in those cheap pieces. That is for sure. He's full of himself. And Malinello, yeah.
And again,
He's
just did it again.
He's been a bit leery, would you say?
Well, no, he's got plenty of scope, and he's kind of not being measured at his fences now and again. Like I say, he's almost too brave, and he's attacking them.
But
when
this is
Luca
like
Morgan doesn't want
schooling
him to.
pace, isn't
Yes,
it?
exactly,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
the problem.
Right.
Because once they go on a bit quicker, it takes that natural exuberance out of them. What you're seeing at the moment is he's almost tugging at the reins all the time and then getting on a half stride. And instead of popping, he's sort of letting fly. He's better
That
there.
was better, because they just picked up the gallop slightly. I don't know how Lord Rocco's going, Mark. He's just a little bit on and off the bridle in fourth.
4 to 1 in running now. It looks between Son of the Somme and Malinello here. With them
I
running.
love that you're saying that when we've got a circuit to go.
Yeah, just going for the betting here.
Listen,
It's
he's
quite
the
weak.
trader. Let
No, I
him
know,
call it.
but that's what I mean. It's
He's the
mad.
goat.
Yeah.
It's mad to think that like they're already saying that that's the opinion of the race.
All right, okay, so we have got a circuit to go, as Posty said, and when are they going to pick up the gallop batch? They've got to get on with it sooner or later, aren't they?
Yeah, a little bit probably down the back, they pick it up.
Are they talking to each other at this point, the two jocks up front, saying, well, when do we go?
And they're probably at the moment saying, you know what, let's just keep the tempo like this. I mean, again, if you're Luca Morgan on one first time, like you said, this is like schooling pace. So
What
it's
did you
not
make
the
of the
end
crown
world.
the other night? That's the sort of chat they're having, is it? And all
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Yeah,
You have half a lager or a bitter.
Absolutely. We'll see the lads in the Thirsty Bear after the
Yeah.
show. Well, we were going so slow.
Hryhorskyj will have the blueberries. and,
Hryhorskyj will have the blueberries and whiskey. That's his tipple. He sits in the Thirsty Bear, which is our watering hole we go to after this show, and he has a packet of blueberries and a whiskey, and he sits there sipping and shouting not too
Backing
far
winners,
when he
yeah.
backs all the winners.
Yeah.
All right, and we're hoping that something's going to go and win this by some sort of margin because they're eyeballing each other up front. I wonder whether they're like, right, because we're so neck and neck, whoever goes, they're going to almost start getting at it a bit early because they're going to have to work
Yeah, it's
for it,
like
aren't
cat
they?
and mouse, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, right now, no one wants to be the one to commit and sort of set sail and give the others something to aim at. So, I would
It's
imagine
still a
the
long
two
way
boys,
from
yeah,
home, so
exactly.
no one's going to set
With-
sail, yeah.
What are we, a mile and a half out here,
Yeah,
turned
all
into
day.
the back straight
Yeah,
of
just
Newcastle?
right on the far side,
Yeah.
we can see the stands in the distance and the marvellous Toon race course that is Newcastle, of course, and all the biggies coming up next. But I love this card at Newcastle because they end on the rehearsal chase. It's such a good race, that. Lompress taking on a very progressive horse into overdrive down the bottom. Lompress was on drift. We'll get that from Mark as well. Shortly after, he was around about 5-2 when I looked. Whopping drift. Lord Rocco talking about whopping. That was a mistake, wasn't it? I wonder whether Shantu's just warming up slightly.
He is a
now.
bit.
Yeah, a lot better, travelling a bit better.
And
Yeah.
Son of the Sun now finally starting to get on with it a little bit. Okay, so the big difference, very consistent horse, the 9-year-old, but he's massively up in grade. And he's just finding it a little bit hot now. They're stepping on the gas. Let's see how Shantu Lucky starts to fence maybe a little bit better. Marinello.
We'll see in the
first
betting
on
now,
the race
Marcus.
course.
Shantu's 10s. He was out to about 25, 28s. He's back into 10s. Son of the Somme is now favourite, 5 to 4. Lord Rocco out to 6s.
A 2 mile 7 handicap chase turning into a bit of a dash then, basically.
jumping well,
Marinello was
isn't he,
good there,
Marinello,
Posty,
isn't he?
wasn't he?
Yeah, he's very good. I mean, like he seems to, without jinxing him, he's taken to fencing with aplomb, you know.
Is,
as in-
is he a bit unlucky in that Song for the Song?
Son of the Song,
sorry.
yeah.
He's kind of like,
He's
not having his
harrying
own way, is he? He's come up and said, all right, big difference has gone. I'm going to come up your inside out. as
Yeah,
well.
I mean, again, I'd have thought on a baby first time out of the fences, having a bit of company is never the end of the world, you know.
Okay, all right,
I mean, just a
fine.
little slap down the shoulder from Luca Morgan there.
All right,
He looks
okay.
at his lugging out a fraction as well.
He's given him a bit of weight as well, isn't he?
Son of the Sums 2's on
Yeah.
running on the
Lord
inside.
Rocco, look at that. He's gone absolutely right out. So it looks between two players. What, we've got 3 to go? Four to go. Over they go. Man, and then it was big and bold there, wasn't it? I'll tell you what. Come on, Posty. This could be it, couldn't it? Song for the Sum. It's just
There's a
out of a
lot of
sudden.
racing to do yet. Let's just keep calm.
Oh,
2
look, he's
furlongs
not
to go.
wanting to get excited yet. He's got to pop this. So
Tell you, Lord Rocco's
Posty's
got a
big
chance.
one. Oh, he's absolutely sawed it, Posty.
Hang on.
Lord Rocco is rallying. I'll tell you what, it went
I'm
massive
looking
in the run.
I'm looking at Hryhorsky's screen here.
Look
before I
at
get
this.
too
This is
confident.
absolutely
And
flying
you don't normally get
Over
this.
your head. Away he
Come
goes.
on!
It's
Oh,
the
no,
nap of
yeah.
the day for Charlie Post going clear.
He's not gone well
Sommer,
clear
hang
yet.
on a minute.
yet.
Sommer's
We're
only
not
got
home
one
yet.
fence to
We're
go.
not home
He
yet.
must
More
have
to
gone
go.
ridiculously. Go and get over. Oh, he's gone into
Oh,
his
he's getting
shorts.
deep.
I'll tell you what, he's going to really have to pick him up here.
Come on, Luke. Come on,
Come on,
Luca.
then, man.
Come on, Luca.
Come on, my old
Come
son.
on, my old
Lord
boy.
Rocco
Come
is
on.
rallying.
Come
I think
on.
he's going to
He's
do
one,
it.
he's one.
Come
The
on,
class
hey.
raises to the top, lads. The class raises to the top. Fantastic tipping on the show by Charlie Post. The nap of the day landed for the Welsh Grand National winning jockey, Marc Hryhorskyj. Taylor,
Yeah.
you'll have your word, don't worry. Marc Hryhorskyj, tell us the story of the market.
Putting in some great jumps as the pace increased, and then on the flat, it's just sort of like he started drifting out, so the ones were coming back. The highest he's went there, he's hit 9-2 there for decent money. BSP 3-1, so he got absolutely smashed on the off. Maybe he got 5.21 around 9-2. But yeah, good picking there from Charlie. Maybe I have
You
to hand
love
over
to
to
see
you
it,
every
and a
time
little
now,
bit of profit. We Dutch one of them. We had a little bit on it, didn't we, in the end?
Yeah, I think we were a bit too early to be shouting how far up the running at Newcastle. But listen, we'll take it,
He definitely had he yarded a little bit, didn't
He just got in tight to the last and was very novice in it. But yeah, look, a good start. And you said that the naps are what people remember you for. So
It's
yeah.
all they remember
Yeah.
you for, buddy. All of a sudden, Batch's sterling performance a couple of Saturdays ago is paling into significance. Jet powered seems like a long time ago as well, doesn't it? All right then, absolutely fantastic stuff. We are rocking and rolling. And the next race, oh yes, it's the Betfair Fighting Fifth. And, well, Ascot's loss is Newcastle's gain, isn't it? Because Constitution, we believe, is going to now finally get in the saddle on. Has anyone seen it? Has anyone seen it? Yes, we're going to Newbury first. Sam Hart in my ear, thank you very much. What are you telling me on the chat as well? After this race, can we get Marc to do the Fighting Fifth Betfair offer? He doesn't know it, but I will put it on the screen anyway. Here it comes.
It's probably a good one to put up. Yeah, we got money back as a free bet if you lose.
You
in the
did
210
that
Newcastle,
brilliantly,
yeah.
my friend.
Yeah, the timing was perfect. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
You really are coming good as the GOAT. Well, so what is the offer? Money back as a free bet if you lose.
Yeah,
How much is that
the
up to?
Fighting Fifth.
Tenner?
I've not got my my
They've
binoculars.
stitched you right up
I
here,
think
haven't
that's
they?
10, 25.
It's a tenner, of course it is.
Yeah.
It's always a tenner on these Saturdays, of course. All right, so there you go. That's the Fighting Fifth offer. So if you have a tenner on one of the outsiders, and might well be getting it back.
It's probably a good way to play, just back one of the
I
outsiders.
really want to just start talking about Constitution Hill, but we've got to go to Newbury because are we going to, Aplutar, we haven't heard from me from guys about that last week. Aplutar, they don't always turn up, do they?
No, I mean, hey, you should never be scared of one. And Dan Skelton and Harry, they showed that, didn't they? And then they got their just rewards with it. But I mean, it was a performance too bad to be true, wasn't it?
Very,
I mean,
yeah.
So I think like all these things.
Shook up the Gold Cup market. If you're sitting on Galopin de Champs, you're
But
going.
I'll be honest, if you're sat on Applautard anti-post, it wasn't like he got beat 5 lengths and you're like, oh, maybe Protectorat's improved and he's regressed. He
Too
just
bad to
ran-
be true.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I've long said if you've got a horse of that class and you're beaten fair and square, that's when you worry
Yeah,
more.
massively
almost.
for me. Yeah.
A lot of people think, what did he go out to straight away afterwards for the Gold Cup? Aplutar.
10-1 on the Betfair Sportsbook, but he was beaten too far out.
Yeah,
And it wasn't like he was beaten.
She was never happy, she said, didn't she?
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
Well, they couldn't really put their finger on it.
I mean, again, this is like brilliant after that tweet earlier that I read out about the ground. But Haydock is that sort of like attritional ground when it can be that, some of them just don't act on it. Don't you not think, Batch?
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree, yeah.
Here's one of the Gold Cup as well. For the home press, notably weak today. If that gets beat, 8-1 in places for the Gold Cup? What price is that going to go if that gets beat today?
If Long Press is going to be that sort of horse, guys, for the
Gotta
Gold
win
Cup,
today.
he's got
Yeah.
to defy a mark of 164, really,
Yeah.
isn't he? And good on you, Venetia, for coming back out quickly and getting him out in a handicap.
But that's a different scenario for me. Like Applautard is he's a Gold Cup winner, and he just ran badly as a one-off. I mean, which I'd be willing to forgive that. Long Press is also on the way up. He's out of novice company. Like you say, if he's going to be a genuine Gold Cup contender, he really wants to be going very close to taking the rehearsal out of 164.
Indeed, he does. All right, so that's the word on it. Okay, all right, so we are, what, T-minus around about 20 minutes away from Constitution Hill. We must go back to Newbury, however. There's the result, Post's nap, 11-4. Aye, thank you very much. Lord Rocco ran well, although a little bit lazy, wasn't he? And Son of the Somme, there's definitely a race in that chap, isn't there? But we must now go back to the hurdle course at Newbury. And there we are, 3 nons, shame to see Westbell, but Dan pulled out all of his horses, bar the Milos.
What I think is interesting at times, like with that Hatcher and he had 2 in plenty of races, and he's taken 1 out seemingly in each race. Now, I don't know. Read into that what you will.
Well, I don't. Go on. Expand on that. What do you mean?
I don't know. As in, I just think it's quite interesting that he's. Maybe he's had 2 options in, one that wants the ground slower and one that wants the ground better, and so he's giving himself options. Not obviously in this contest, but there's a couple of other races where he's had 2 in each race.
All right, okay, but West Balboa, I think he was actually napped as well by our spotlights as well, so they'll be scratching around for a next best out there. But he is out. Infal is out. Kills will be livid about that. He's on a high after Zanza, of course. And Walking on Air. Shame that he's out, isn't he? He's obviously a fragile horse, I'd imagine, but very, very classy one that they've pulled him out of this. But Peking Rose didn't make it to Haydock last Saturday, Mark. Lord Baddesley coming in off a high. Washington, you think when he puts it together, will be all right. Malacana did really well on the flat. He probably has more to offer over hurdles. We'll see what the guys think about Ian Williams' form. Porticello, if he could jump, there's a big one in him. Current Mood, who we saw was part of one of our viewers' socials out there. Petit Tonnier, Dorking Boy, and Red Risk, the outsider of the lot, but only slightly less than 33-1. What wins, Mark?
I actually liked Infal, obviously a non-runner. Stable's absolutely flying. Gary Moore's non-runner, unfortunately. But
are you opening it up to the floor again? Because that worked very successfully, didn't it?
I had a look this morning. I like Dorking Boy. Again, another yard absolutely flying. Couldn't be in better form. 22% strike rate. Obviously, I called you yesterday when Sage Star got beat as well. We
were chatting, weren't we, when that was going off? Yeah. Sage Star, that was a flop.
So this one, Dorking Boy, it's course and distance winner. Off 130 here. I think this can be competitive, handles conditions. He's 36, he's on the Betfair Exchange right now, so we're going to back this win in additional place. Stable form cannot be ignored. They're absolutely flying from this yard.
Yes,
so we're going to back this one.
Sebastopol winning that race yesterday.
One easy as well, one absolutely bolted up.
Blimey, yeah.
Does that say more about the others, though, than Sebastopol?
Well, certainly something looked like it wasn't totally right at the stage start. He, of course, pulled up on his final 2 starts last season.
I think the winner done it well.
All right, so
he did, but
it's
disappointing that a horse as exposed as he is able to take that race out like that. I would have said.
All right, okay. So it's going to be Dorking Boy for you, and Tom Lacey. Tom, who famously, of course, last season had a bit of a meltdown, didn't he? He called us, all us journalists, emotional snowflakes or something. I think it was something like that. He called us.
Yeah, he's a fan of yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom and me have had a great what a shout. We have. Thankfully, we got him on before that. He's a bit of a character, isn't he, Lacey? I like one in here, and I have obviously gone through the card and mentioned them, but I'll let you go down.
So I've picked out 2 here at bigger prices. No, hold on, listen. Whoa, hold on a minute. You just told Dave not to jump the gun, just listen what I'm about to say here. 2 at bigger prices, which will suit the step up in trips.
Yeah.
And because of trainer form, as our good friend here, Poste, alluded to us early, Ian Williams, jumpers, not really in good form. I was going to go with that.
Showing literally nothing, are they?
No, exactly. And that's why I'm going with the Gary Moore trained Porticello. I think this further trip.
We've got to put him up on that.
Have another go.
Porticello.
What's the name of the Arkle favourite?
Oh, that's easy.
What is it?
Oh, Jambon.
Jambon. We were chatting earlier to Mattie Batchelor. We were saying, what do you make of that? He went, oh yeah, Jambon was very good. Sorry. Jambon.
He's like Del Boy, isn't he?
The more of these that you do, Batch, the more colours you show. And we've got Porticello here. Porticello. Well, I like this one as well, so I'm glad you're pronouncing it and making the case. He's the 4-year-old in the field, of course. He was thought to be Triumph Hurdle class. The problem is, Batch, he could hardly jump last season.
Let's get back to serious now. So he was 6th in the Triumph. Jumping's not his forte, but over this trip, I think you will see a better jumper today.
He's a Grade 1 winner. I was sort of controversial to say that because it's no longer a Grade 1, is it, the finale?
lost that
If
status.
anything, Porticello downgraded it.
He didn't help.
He didn't help. But this is, of course, on Welsh Grand National Day.
I think they have scored him over fences.
They talked about him being a chaser, which was really interesting.
Yeah.
I wondered whether he might be tonight. I know he came from Ortoy in that. I half wondered whether he's so good in between his hurdles, whether they might be tempted to look at something like the Ascot Stakes for him or something like that. I didn't have a clue. I thought they might try and get some sort of flat plan out. I don't know if they're one of the flat. They're probably thinking that's absolutely bonkers. Davies is Sholokov, he's bred to jump and all that sort of stuff. But on the flat, he looks really good. And Gary likes to mix it up a bit, but they do see him as a future chaser. The fact that they're coming here first is interesting. If he puts in a clear round, he's definitely up to defying a mark of 138 in this.
I think you'll see him jump better today, Dave. No fingers crossed you will.
Nothing you've said yet has come good.
Yeah, but it's all going to be out of change in the next 5
That's
minutes.
it, absolutely. It's a long way to go. I'm not far behind you, Batch, by the way. One man that has been having a good day, thanks to his nap, and he's going to be insufferable for the rest of the show, is Poste. What wins, Poste?
Current mood for me.
Oh, you're out there with our social selections.
Is that right?
Someone put it up.
Yeah, as
I
in-
remember who it was.
Eye-catching at Poste last time out.
Trevor Clark, wasn't it, I think? It's coming into my mind. That wasn't someone in my ear either, Trevor.
And was taken out of the Greatwood.
Yes.
I presume, I'm saying I presume ground related, I'm not sure. And, but this extra half mile anyway is actually a positive for the horse. And yeah, I think, Evan Williams, real shrewd trainer. He's been having a few winners. had a decent horse win at Foss yesterday
Went
for the
off
Ruckers.
only just over 8-1 for the Imperial Cup.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Oh, I know I'm correct.
I know, yeah.
Thanks, Poste. Correct. He's been a bit of a taskmaster today, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
What success goes to his head?
A
It's
couple of
ridiculous.
winners and that
What was
is
it like
it.
after winning the Welsh Grand National? Awful, I imagine.
You should have
You
been.
came back in the
They're
weighing
telling
room.
me that I need to give you this tipping
He came
trophy
back. He
as
came
well
back
at
in the
the moment.
weighing room and he
Go on, you can have
kissed me live on air.
Did he really?
Yeah, like right on the lips.
Oh,
Yeah. He went in.
Lord, man.
Big time. Yeah.
You were happy for him.
Absolutely delighted for me.
You
Old
were
mucker
thrilled for him when he won
Posty.
at Cheltenham Festival race, weren't you? Was it Cheltenham Festival or was it the...
Hennessy, but
you were at
It's
Towson
too
when
far to
Hennessy
go
was
from
being won.
Toaster to Newbury to
To
give him a kiss.
smacker.
Yeah.
He sent me a
all
kiss.
Yeah.
The goat's sitting over there loving all this chat. He's like, what are these buffoons on about? But
The other one is kind of flat. Washington. I spoke to Ollie Murphy earlier.
Yeah.
A talented horse. The hood's on for the first time. Stayed on well at Ascot the last day to finish 5th over 2 mile. But if he switches off, he's got a big chance. But switching off is going to be key.
Right,
Strong
well,
right now. He's
Is he?
5.3, 4 to 1.
he's got the hood on as well. I just don't like hoods in general.
No.
Certainly don't like them over jumps.
Well, like I say, this horse is having a hood on because he's too keen in this races.
Current
Yeah.
mood's a big price. 14s on the Betfair Exchange. 15.5. It's a big
Okay,
price.
it's not just you that likes Washington as well. MI comes on as well and says, Washington improving for the step up in trip. His half sister was a stay. I think he's handicapped to win. We'll see. Tom Park, you might have seen, join me on What a Shout yesterday. Our weeklies editor. He's there at the track today with Keels and a few others and Jimmy Pugh, some other guys that work here at the Racing Post. And he thinks this is the best handicapped horse in training, Washington. He puts together our big jump off. He's convinced it is. So you can see the support is coming from them. Paul Bakewell with me and Batch, Porticello, and Washington as a saver. More coming for Washington. Very interesting, Paul. Who else we got? We've got one more, I think, coming in. Who's going to complete the trio of socials? Shaddai? That could have gone wrong.
Yeah.
Malakana for me. Worried about the stable form.
I think it's a big negative.
All right,
Ian
good
Williams is a
luck.
fantastic trainer, and it's going to
It's
turn
got to turn
around.
at some
but-
point, isn't it?
but yeah.
He's going to
weak
have a
on the
lot of very well
exchange.
handicaps. Also, I had one at the course as well.
6 to 4 for the 3, Malakana.
I thought more people would be going for Peking Rose and seems to be strong still.
Very, very strong on the Betfair Exchange. 4.3, around 3 to
The
1.
colours of Puffin.
Yeah.
The shows,
Tim
yeah.
Siders, yeah.
Jamie Jambon Philby, who's
Oh,
clipping up
sure.
everything for us on social. He's going for Porticello as well.
It's a bit of late
puts me
money
off
for
that.
Red Risk of Paul Nicholls. Got a bit to find. I mean, this one's big as 50s into 22s, 24s on the Betfair Exchange. Park.
He's been for Midland, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
been a little bit.
Disappointing.
He's been a
Probably the
little
best
bit
word.
that way, isn't he? Yeah. Okay.
Dave, when you do the commentary, can you emphasise the Porticello? You better-
Porticello.
Yeah,
What
but yeah.
Porticello is?
Yes.
What is Porticello? Like limoncello.
Yeah. I think it's,
Porticello.
We like that, don't we?
Oh, we do like
Yeah.
a bit of limoncello.
it's an Italian shot.
No
of
mention
alcohol.
Lord Badders either. Only money fancied for the Gordons in the last. This chap came back in the silver trophy with the second. He won last time. Still more to come from him. I think they're putting off chasing for him. All right, and on we go. And current mood, well, Postie's is great so far because the nap went in the previous race at Newcastle. How is it now, Postie, that you've gone 3 lengths clear already?
Yeah, I'm quite happy. Easy lead at the moment.
Is it not too far, Isabel? Is that what we're shouting already?
a bit early for
Not
that,
yet.
is it
A
not?
bit early, yeah.
All right, okay. I might play you that clip of Marc celebrating a winner earlier. I've actually got it somewhere. It was Jason the Hitman Hart at Wolverhampton last Saturday night. We'll go into that. It was a great moment. The horse was successful. Peking Roses in third. Dorking Boy, Marc's trade in this for the month of November, and Betfair took that nicely in second. Red Risk, another one that Marc gave a talk to. The outside of the lot is really on a going day, I think. Malacana is up there as well for Shaddai. Porticello, how did he get over the first couple? I didn't see.
He got in a bit short.
Hang on,
bit
you said he was going to ping them.
I didn't say he was going to ping everyone, did I?
You said he's going to
I
absolutely
said he'd
wing
jump
them.
better. He was good at it. Just
He's a bit keen. Let's see how he gets over this one.
Dorking Boy's keen, yeah.
Very keen.
Yeah.
Is there a crawling here? I think they're a decent pace.
I think it's
No,
just
they're
an
not, they're
ordinary
going slowly,
pace.
yeah.
Yeah.
We look at the clock every time and it's like it's frozen, isn't it? Washington out the back post in that first time hood. How's he set?
Yeah, he actually seemed to have switched off okay, Dave, as in Ollie was concerned they were going to ride him handy.
Oh,
Peking,
Peking
very bad
and
mistake.
Porticello. Nearly
Yeah.
went.
Yeah, I mean, Paddy Brennan, in fairness, done very well to get back in the saddle there. He was half out the side door.
We'll have to
Hampered
see.
Porticello.
I don't imagine Jamie Moore's going to be giving him a Christmas card after that because he nearly took him out as well.
I mean,
Wouldn't it be
Dorking Boy is about to take over here.
Yeah.
Lord Baddesley is
Can't
seeing
hold
them
them.
all in, isn't he? And by some considerable distance as well.
He's favourite and running it right now, 4
What,
to
the
1.
Badders?
The one at the back, yeah.
That's
Lord
interesting.
Badders is 4
Three
to
lengths
1,
off
yeah.
them guys out the back at the moment. And Dorking Boy, is it? I mean, if he
too
wins
keen.
doing this, he's got to have 10 stone in hand, doesn't he? I think. He's too keen up front. He's taken over Current Mood's position up front. Red Risk continues to catch my eye,
Travelling
going
very
really
well,
well.
isn't he? BSP 30's trading at 16s.
Yeah, John Joe's 4-year-old Petit Tonnerre was pulled up, wasn't it, at the Cheltenham Festival? I seem to remember that one. It was Aintree, sorry, when it was fancied. Of course, Grade 1 company, won it by Night Salute and Pied Piper. Do you remember that? Very dramatic race.
Washington seems to have gone completely asleep with this hood on. I mean, he normally is almost over racing the whole time, and he's almost been chased away from the hurdle by Sean Byrne.
Yeah. If you're Ollie Murphy, you're thinking, he's tiny as well, Washington, looking at him in comparison to some of the others, isn't he?
Favourite Peking Rose out to 10s here.
What's that all about? Is that mistake, do you think? Mark?
could be, yeah.
Petit Tonnerre just stepped at one there, didn't do Washington too many. Oh my goodness, Malacana took a full step.
Lord Battersley's, 5 to 2 and
Yeah, I
running
think
here,
he
the one out
clipped
the
heels
back.
there. I think
Did he
so.
clip heels?
Do you reckon exchange punters are
Very
thinking
well
that they've
said.
gone too quick here, or what? As in, or
So they're usually ahead of the live picture.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean about Porticello,
Yeah.
guys? You can see why I think he's a chase. He's grown, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's summer break. Nice soil for you. But in between the hurdles, he looks like he's going to go and eat them all up. And that was a slightly better job. He's not winging them.
He's
though.
jumped the last 3, okay.
You put the mockers on, man.
No, I haven't.
It's usually the Dave Orton curse that happens.
Dave,
7 to
go.
2 and running right now, Porticello.
I want to see him do this. What's this? 4 out, guys, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Lord Baddesley now starting to warm up, who was made favourite on the exchange. Washington gets a reminder.
Yeah,
Tom
as in
Parkey will be going to the bar.
The hood seems to have
Done the
He's
opposite
gone.
effect.
He's put 10
Yeah.
zeros on him, right, surely.
He's not fancying it at all.
No,
he
he's
never really
absolutely
travelled
gone.
from the word.
Dorking Boy, though, still sees him in this famous sweeping bend from 4 to 3 out here at Newbury.
He's still pulling in front here.
Come
Yeah,
on,
he
Mark.
is,
He can't get home.
He can't
Mark.
get home pulling that
Can't
off.
get. Did you see the horse
surely.
called Russian Roulette yesterday at Newbury? Had them all cold, 3
think
out.
yeah,
and
not
fair to say,
happy.
Nico got a bit
Not
excited there,
happy.
didn't he? Went a little bit soon.
I mean, the tempo is rising massively here.
Porticello likes it. Red Risk, I tell you what, is going not like an outsider. Lord Baddesley looking confident. Petit Tonnerre on the inside. Paddy Brennan, he's not happy at all, is he, Paddy?
No.
Current Mood still there, Poste.
Yeah, current mood's still there. Malacana is going to drop out as well. Continuing Ian Williams is
Red Risk,
struggling.
travelling
run of
all right.
form.
I'll tell you what, Batch, this is 3 out. Can catch some of them out, can't it? Because they really start trapping now.
wanna
Porticello,
wing
it. Jamie.
Good
Go on,
going
Jamie.
over it, Porticello. That's
Go on.
a
He's
great
gone
jump.
right in front, by the
Lord
way.
Baddesley all of a
Surely
sudden a
this
bit out of
doesn't
his
all
gun.
done.
Petit
He's
Tonnerre
got
on the
to
inside.
stop this thing in front.
And he can't. This is Marc Hryhorskyj in
Got
front.
to.
This is ridiculous. He's been far too keen, hasn't he?
Yeah,
We've
he's
still got a
getting
long
caught
way.
now.
Look
Yeah,
at John
he's
Joe
been,
Hill Jr., of course, champ yesterday. From the front, a lot more patient today. Red Risk, though. Paul Nicholls is coming as well. Harry Cobden on Oscar Elite in the big one coming
Come
up
on, the
next.
boy.
Porticello just finding it a little bit hot, the pace. Looks like he's going to be going
Red
chasing
Risk,
soon.
yeah.
What have we
Red
got?
Risk.
Red Risk has gone low, has he?
Yeah, I'm looking at it just
Yeah,
now.
Red
He's
Risk.
what?
Dorking
He's
Boy's
10s
right out of
on.
this.
He's 10s on.
Harry Cobden does not want to go for him now. He goes for him. Oh! Porticello, my
Back on that
lord. An absolute powder. Let's hope they're both up all right.
gonna get
On
caught.
the running, though. Red Risk, the outsider
Risk,
of
yeah.
the lot. Given a good mention by Marc Hryhorskyj just before. It looks like Paul Nicholls, Harry Cobden, Midland Park Racing. How on earth did this cost this price? We will find out
shout.
shortly.
Good shout.
Petit Tonnerre in second. Awful incident for Porticello at the last. We were sort of joking about his jumping during the race because he has been a little bit flaky before and he was a little bit ponderous, isn't he? And he went for a big one there and
Yeah,
just paid the
he
price.
just stepped right at it and stepped. Hopefully,
Fingers crossed.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed,
Up,
yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed he's all right. Okay, they're keeping an eye on the gallery. We've got the eagle-eyed Will and Sam Hart in there. They'll be telling us this. And Harry Cobden, he'll be fancying his chances now big time on Oscar Elite, who's been prepped perfectly. They were third in the Ultima at the Cheltenham Festival. Can they go and take out the big one? He's never won a race over fences, Oscar Elite, but he's been fancied for a long time since that decent comeback at Wetherby. Mark?
I think Porticello was unlucky. He was coming there travelling. I think it probably would have traded a bit shorter. He's only went as low as 3.25 for £48. But fingers crossed that one gets up. I mean, the winner, Red Risk BSP 30s. There was a little bit of late money from about 50s into 30s. They've done it well. I thought John Joe was an eye catcher there. That one's traded as low as, I mean, this one's went low. This one's been done at 1.75, around 8 to 11.
Wow.
Lord Battesley was trading very, very short and running. It looked like they were going to collapse up front. This one's been
Dorking's
done.
won a blinder for you, Mark.
Yeah, listen.
If he'd have settled just a little bit better, he'd have probably taken it out.
Yeah, I think if he'd settled better, he would have won. But listen, we backed it each way, so no complaints. Lord Battesley done it 5 to 4 for £116 as well.
Some fine trading again from Mark.
Well to sit that.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
We were looking at when Porticello got a big knock going first time around from Paddy Brennan. Peking Rose disappointing, wasn't he?
Made that bad mistake, didn't he, the favourite?
I don't know, he's never looking that happy on the inside. The thing to say, guys, is that this horse, Red Risk, does like some ease underfoot.
Yes, it's true.
And here we are. We're sort of moaning about the fast ground and that, but we're looking at it now. We can see on at Newbury, the turf's coming up. It just looks like really nice jumping ground.
That's what I heard yesterday, and that's what it's looking like. That's true, isn't it?
Yeah,
Would you fancy him to back that up though next time out, Red Risk?
Red, do you think he'll back it up?
No,
Has he ever
would you?
backed up
That's
before?
What I'm saying, would you? He's probably going to be short, isn't he?
He's got a 1.31 in his form figures, so he's never followed up before. But he's only a 7-year-old, and they've gone chasing with this boy. Let's have a little look. Yeah, they have. Yeah, 2-time winner over fences and rated slightly higher as well. So the ability was there. The outside of the lot with Dorking Boy. Great shouts from Mark. Give you a good run for your money. Petite on Air, in fact, was a big prize as well. Current mood, just dropped out.
Yeah, as in ran strange, got in deep to the first hurdle in the straight, and Isabel Williams sort of accepted the situation from there. There'll be other days for him.
All right, we've got to move on, and I'm thrilled to say it's time for the Betfair Fighting Fifth. Great memories of the Fighting Fifth. How many times has it been run? We had this morning, didn't we? The boys in the studio should know. How many times?
Less than the Hennessy.
Less than the Hennessy. Hennessy's 64.
Yeah, I think it was 50.
50 odd times it's been run. What's your favourite memories from the Fighting Fifth? What are we going to see from Constitution Hill coming up? A reminder, the Exchange is the place to be, guys. If you are betting on a Saturday, your Betfair speed's always bigger than what you'll get on course or any other firms. That's undisputed. All right, okay, what price is he, Mark? The monster that's coming over the hill.
Yeah, he's short enough, Constitution Hill. He's 1.27 on the Betfair Exchange right now, so roughly on 1 at 4, 2 to 9. Obviously, we can't be backing these ones. I know you boys are getting a bit excited with your how far length in your odds, but you know, I think there could be better value here. I'm not totally convinced with Epitont. I mean, that reappearance when it punches down, wasn't for me. I think it was well.
Should we get the
beaten.
poll results
Yeah,
up? We put out a poll. We wanted to know how far you think Constitution win by. This is interesting, guys. 0 to 5. 31%. 6 to 10. You're playing it safe out there, guys, aren't you?
I think he looks difficult to beat.
6 to 10
Constitution
legs,
Hill.
56%. 11 to 19. And look, 1% only thinks we'll see a supreme demolition
They're not
job.
going to ride him out. He's going to do the business, isn't he? And back.
What are the length and the odds? Can we have a little play around with that? And I'm going to play this clip. Are you ready for this, guys? This is Marc Hryhorskyj
Make sure it's the right one, Dave.
celebrating a Jason Hart winner at Wolverhampton last weekend.
Not too far, Jason. Not too far.
How far? We absolutely love that. The Hryhorskyj's got it in the back. What are we doing with the length and the odds? Come on, this is going to be a not too far race, isn't it?
Oh, just a bit of feedback for that. Was 14 to 1 and 11 to 4 on the snap.
That was
Jason
a
Hart.
brilliant
But
result, wasn't it?
Anyway, we've
Marcus,
got
can you get that right? On the snap.
on the snap. Right, so Constitution Hill length in your odds. We've got 2 lengths or more, 2 to 7, 3 lengths, 4 at 11. 8 lengths is in around even money. You know, I think there's better value here. I mean, you can have a look, but I think there's better value here.
Should we,
I'm
for the
backing one in the
charity,
place.
put on what we think the punters are telling us what's going to happen?
What was the winner?
It
6
was
to 10, wasn't it?
6 to 10. So what's
56.
the nearest to that, basically?
Well, we've got 6 lengths, 4 to 5, 8 lengths, 11 to 10, 10 lengths, 13 to 8. I mean, why don't we go for 8 lengths?
I
11
like
to 10?
that. A 13 to 8 shot, yeah? For the merry month of November. Mark's been in profit again. They'll be getting a cheque coming from Betfair at the end of the month, no matter what happens.
We'll do a £25 win for Constitution to win by 8 lengths or more. And I'm also going to put a trade on
This
the
is such
Betfair
a good
Exchange
feature. We
here.
love this.
again, I'm not so sure about Epatton that run last time out, but I like Tommy's Oscar. I think that was a good run at Cheltenham.
This is the single trade, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the single. I think that was a good run at Cheltenham in the Paddy Power meeting. Back to hurdles. I think this one's where it wants to be. I think looking in the without market right now, I think 11-2 is a massive price here. And Not So Sleepy, I think that one's overpriced at 4s. Epatton, 1.5 fee, I wouldn't be tanking in there. So we're going to have a £25 win on Tommy's Oscar in the without market just to finish second.
Okay.
Knocks at 135.
Yeah, the without market's interesting here as well, isn't it, guys? Okay, let's go down the poll and the panels. The poll's done. Let's go down the panel after we remind you of Rob Wade's power rankings. And we have Graham on explaining the mechanics of this. You love this, Batch, don't you?
Yes, good, yeah.
Batch isn't the biggest fan of the trainer and jockey ones. Oh, look, he's keeping a straight face as well. That's unlike you, Batchy. Oh, come on, G-Rod, let's have you and Batchy on. Well, that would be great, wouldn't it, the power rankings? But the number one hurdler is here. In fact, we've got the 4th and the 6th as well. That was a bit controversial in people's mind, Not So Sleepy, but it's based on his run in this race last year.
See number 9, Paisley Park, ran a cracker yesterday.
Paisley Park ran a
He ran a blind,
belter,
yeah.
didn't he? They get. I think he does them every Monday or Tuesday. He updates them.
So wait for the update.
Wait for the update. I think we're going to see novice hurdlers coming in if they're not already. The novice chasers are there as well, and the trainer and jockey ones are there as well. And just a little bit of housekeeping before we move on, guys. Henderson on Lucia in the first. Very complimentary about the ground at Newbury.
Good.
Very. They've done a tremendous job. And we're happy to go first time out. It's all about the mare's novice at Cheltenham for her basing. She's 4-1 on the sportsbook, Mark, wasn't she, for that?
Yeah, she was 4-1, got clipped in.
Got clipped in. All right, very talented horse and liked the jumping. Had to work on her jumping, Hendo says as well. All right, that's what is. What's Hendo going to be saying after this? Not too far, Nico, not too far.
Well,
but we're hoping it's 8 lengths, aren't we?
You'd like to hope so.
All right, okay. Let's look. We're going to see something special, aren't we? What follows him home? Obviously, we've got Epatton in this. This is kind of her race. This is her day because she won the Jerry Fielden as well, going back.
Yes, yeah.
So she's a 3-time winner on this day. That's fantastic, isn't it? She doesn't get the credit she
doesn't.
deserves.
No,
really.
she doesn't.
She's a champion hurdler. She is a tremendous mare.
Drifting a little bit here, Constitution Hill, out to 1.31.
Hang on.
Around 3's on. A little bit of money for Tommy's Oscar and Not So Sleepy.
Not So Sleepy, we hope will put the pace to the race, guys, right?
Very much, yeah.
Does he only have one way of running anyway?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I actually would fancy him in the without Constitution Hill market.
Not So
All right.
Sleepy.
Yeah.
I mean, a
Don't
big
forget,
price,
you get the
4-1.
money back
Yeah,
free race.
as in,
This is the money back free race, guys. If you have a tenner here, a money back if you lose. So a free shot against Constitution Hill, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do the straight forecast. Just keep it simple.
Now,
Job done.
we were talking this morning, and you were very bullish about this, aren't you? So go for it, because Mark might be tempted to have a little look on the exchange.
Constitution Hill, Epatton. It's
That's simple.
That's simple. Doesn't get any simpler.
You think it's one of the most straightforward things you've ever seen, don't
Yes.
you? That's what we
There we
like.
go.
There you go.
Seeing the ball big. Seeing the ball big. Not So Sleepy, of course, dead heated at 18-1 in this race last year with Epatton. She won it the year before that. Bouverdares won it twice. My Tent or Yours going back as well. I mean, even Irving had a great... Remember when Archibald came up there and won it?
Archibald.
That was
yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
The perfect races for Archibald, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I remember that English Dreamer on the inside. That was a good race.
Amazing performance that day. Let's get some socials. Come on, let's hear from you. What are we seeing? Come on, Constitution Hill.
On the snaff.
Gives us a champion-elect. Give us a champion-elect run. That's what you want to see. This is the champion-elect, right, guys? I love it, am I? Absolutely superb. Come on, let's hear from you out there. There's loads of you watching out there. Let us know what you think's going to happen. We could have some in-running. I mean, where's he going to sit? Because this is not something off the flat, is it? You know, this is a... I always wondered how fast Constitution Hill was against some of Henderson's other workers. Apparently he does things... They can't get horses to work with him. They've had to get horses from Charlie Hills off the flat to work with him.
Yeah, I mean, the amazing thing is you heard, like, when he first went there, that they were ringing Barry Geraghty up saying, what the heck have we been sold? He's so slow, he can't get out of his own way.
Disgrace.
And, like, now all of a sudden it's like he's so quick, we have to bus in flat horses to work with him. So something's transformed, hasn't it?
You heard as well, they'd start off a piece of work with one horse
Yeah.
and then change over and get another one horse to go with him. But whether that's true or not, I don't know. But
Graham Robbo wrote a piece saying he's already better on ratings, don't want to get you angry out there, than Hardy Eustace, right, who's won 2 champion hurdles. Now, he hasn't achieved as much, but
No.
class-wise, and that's how we have to try and, work out what sort of generations were what, basically, by the handicappers' ratings, times, distances, all that sort of stuff, and form, everything, right?
Off for Newcastle now, that's them off.
It's the highest mark that we have ever had It's the highest mark we've ever had. We need to get on to
Newcastle.
We need to see Newcastle guys in the gallery. They're obviously back in something at Gallery.
They're obviously
That's come
mad
up there.
keen on
Let's get the
Poland, Saudi
We
Arabia.
need to see
game
the
out there.
Constitution,
Yeah.
guys. And
Nice.
Sam, Will, in the gallery. We need that to change, buddies. Just bear with us a minute. We're having some technical problems in the studio. We don't want them here for Constitution Hill.
Yeah.
Can we change to TV, guys? There we go. We've
Phone's
got
in
it.
and
All
running
right.
here.
Luckily.
No.
No. We need to go back.
There
Right,
we
they're
go.
off.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
off.
yeah,
Goodness
yeah.
gracious me.
Yeah.
Well, he jumped through. And he's gone in front, guys. God,
Oh,
blimey.
dear.
All right, okay, don't worry. That's them buying the beers later.
Any of those
right?
watching in need a new job in the
They think
gallery?
it's such a foregone. They think it's such a foregone conclusion that we're not needing to see it. Now he said, didn't he, Henderson? He doesn't want a Mickey Mouse race. Lots of people on the chat going, the race is off, and the hill is in front. How's he going? First and foremost, Charlie Poste.
Well, surprisingly enough, for what you boys have told is the second coming, he's travelling pretty comfortably through this first mile.
I thought
of
you were
the-
going to come
the-
back at me and go,
the
hang on, I've
fighting
only
pit.
seen 2 strides.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Nico's
They'll
obviously
be livid with themselves.
Nico's obviously keeping it simple. I mean, I'm surprised to see him lead and not so sleepy, if I'm honest, but he is. Epiton's tracking away. Tommy's Oscar's following through. Voidarev is dropped in. And, you know, they're almost in Indian file bar, not so sleepy, who's one off the rail on Constitution Hill's quarters as they jump the first and the back.
All right, that's
Jumping
flight
well.
number 4 of 9 then. Okay.
So what do we miss? 3? 2?
Well, we missed 3 hurdles.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. He apparently jumped them like Pegasus, and he absolutely
Winged
strode
that,
off that.
yeah.
I mean, come on, I mean, Epatont in the so the forecast is alive at the moment. First thing to say,
Yeah.
Tommy's Oscar on the inside. I'm not sure how Not So Sleepy's he's not enjoying being held up,
Smack
is
the
he?
done.
No, not enjoying it at all.
And Voidarev, the outsider, running for the prize money. Great to see. He often picks up. So I think he's running this race before, actually, from memory. And he's at the back at the moment as well. So, look, right, he was on the far side. I mean, they said they didn't want a Mickey Mouse race. They're getting on with it. With the fact, I suppose, that Not So Sleepy's not gone on. He's like, OK,
Miss
Nico,
that one, Not So Sleepy.
off we go. No, Not So Sleepy, again, they're probably going to be ruining the
Pretty
decision
sleepy,
not
right,
to
yeah.
bounce him out. He's pretty sleepy. I like it.
Tommy's going all right and behind. Got a chance for the place.
All right, OK, look, listen, if we're on the far side here, we can see there were some tech issues out there, apparently. We've got some runnings out of Shadow. He comes back, making the running. Very interesting.
Agreed.
Very interesting indeed, Shadow. Now, here we go. Epiton on the inside. Keep your eyes on the exchange, guys. This is going to be fascinating because Nico's going to have to wake him up a little bit here. He's 3 lengths going into it, and Epiton has not moved a muscle on the inside. Over he goes. But, she was awful through that. Just as it looked like she was about to make it interesting,
No.
the Constitution has
Look
gone
at
on.
this.
Come on, off we go, the 8 lengths. Not too far, Nico.
Too far.
Not too far. Oh,
Oh,
beautiful
yes.
as well. Come on, Epiton.
Come on, the forecast.
I'll tell you what, this is just absolutely magnificent to see, isn't it? A horse that can go
Oh,
from the
yes.
front, and Nico's just riding away. Come on, Epiton, we want you up.
Come on, Epiton.
This has blown up the machine, this hasn't it? This is unbelievable. Get your superlatives out. The rain has come at Newcastle, but the Constitution has gone over the hill, and the champion-elect.
Hey,
Step
go on
into
then,
it.
Nico.
Guys, he's down.
You don't see
Nico's
him
giving
do
it.
that.
Don't
Come on,
see
the
him doing
forecast.
that.
Well
Yes.
done, Batchy. Absolutely. What the distance was, I don't think you got enough. It was a distance.
I think he's probably won by about 10.
More than that.
More than
wasn't
that, isn't it?
I think
I'd have gone 15.
I think it's more than
Here we
that.
go.
No, it's not.
I thought Epitome.
Who's lengthened the odds out there? Let us know, guys. How far did you go? Well, I think that we were right to do that poll, weren't we? I'm sure a few people are like, that's a bit presumptuous, but we wanted to see this. Great for the game, guys. Come on, let's laud this.
I've never seen Nico so animated.
Yeah, he's getting excited.
Crossing the
wasn't he?
line, giving it that. Have you?
No, I agree. I mean,
He's become Tom Quealy.
Is he?
Frankel.
Oh.
The ride of rides, this, isn't it?
I don't know what Nico would think about the comparison.
No, yeah.
Well, that's Tom's. Tom was the lucky recipient of Frankel, right?
I saw what you're implying that Nico's got lucky here.
Nico has got the best ride that you can think of since Isterbrack, hasn't he?
Go on, Nico.
It's very exciting. I mean, and what you saw was the fact that, like, as he turned the screw turning in, all of a sudden Epatont, you said, was travelling well. I think missed that flight because of the
had to
injection
inject
of
pace,
speed.
you know, that he's suddenly quickened the
So he's
momentum.
gone from being 2 lengths,
Yeah.
turning in, with her right on the inside. She's a
Yeah.
quick mare, isn't she?
Yeah, she
Strong
is, yeah.
traveller, Epatont. It'd be fascinating now to see what Epatont goes and gives us that handle on that form.
Yeah.
Not So Sleepy was 3rd, right? So that was your 1, 2, 3. You're back.
Back.
You are back, Batch. The most straightforward thing I've ever
back.
seen. What
Back,
the
back.
forecast pay, I don't know. They will get the exact to episode.
4 to
Batch
6
told
it
you
was.
that.
4 to 6 Constitution only beat Epitome. I don't think the second was given that hard a ride. We'll see what that one does next time out. But the winner couldn't have done any more there. We'll get the official distance soon
This
enough.
is almost a no offers horse, this, isn't it?
I'm
This
just
is like
checking the
Payout.
4 to 1 was great value, wasn't it? 4 to 1 on.
It's got to be 15, wasn't it? The lengths, I think.
Yeah,
Checking the champion
we'll
hurdle
get
betting
the
there as
official
well.
distances. We went 8 because, oh my God, says Christian McLaughlin. Absolutely superb. And Sam Caney, one of my favourites, Sam. This is a machine. Oh my God.
Odds
Sam
on-
Caney,
odds
lovely
on
stuff.
Champion hurdle now. We're 8 to 11 on the sportsbook for Constitution Hill for Cheltenham.
I think Honeysuckle needs a little bit more than £7, Dave.
What price are you getting? What price are you getting?
Posted quite like
4 to 1.
honeysuckle,
One,
guys,
yeah.
and jumping
Mad.
hurdle. If you're what price is honeysuckle?
A horse that's never been beaten
4 to
is
1.
4 to 1.
Anti Poste, yeah.
What, Honeysuckle?
Yeah.
When's the Hatton's Grace? When's that? That's when she's going to be coming back soon, isn't it?
Yeah, a week or so, isn't it?
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Listen. Sometimes you just got to enjoy.
You just got to pray they all get there, like that they both get there with perfect campaigns and the ground's right enough they can both run on the day.
That was magnificent, wasn't it? That is everything that we wanted. You know, saw
Followed
Alex
up.
Hammond on Sky Main Channel saying they were saying, is this the Frankel of the jumps? Could this be it? You know.
What a ridiculous comparison.
Well, look, but my point being, you know, we've seen the greatest ever flat horse. Could we be looking at the greatest
We
ever?
let's just temper enthusiasm. We are talking about potential still.
Stop raining on the parade.
No.
All right? Stop raining on it.
No,
Come on.
you two are like two kids at Christmas. You're getting swept away all of a sudden.
Happy days!
More humbugs,
We've got Brussels sprouts here. Absolutely. All right, Mark, so odds on for the champion hurdle come March.
I think there's probably a bit of a price discrepancy between Honeysuckle. I mean, Honeysuckle's still quite a big price, around 4 to 1. I'd probably have them closer.
4 to 1. I mean, you've got to be tempted by that as a bet, haven't you? 4 to 1.
Yes.
I mean, but I don't know, we're just looking at greatness, aren't we?
She's been there, done it. So 4 to 1 looks a decent bet for me.
Dare we ask what the without market is for Constitution Hill? Has that reacted yet?
I can get one for you.
It might be a bit
Definitely
soon
one
for
there
that.
now.
Steve McGarrett says, hi Dave, what's your best bet today? I was going to go in the next race at Newbury. I was
Your
going to go.
nap's been sunk. You can't have another best bet.
Hang on. First and foremost, right?
No.
First and foremost, that was never going out. I'm not going to list a little on it, but we did a pilot this morning for a little prototype that we're working on for you all out there. And I napped something, and it got beaten in the first race to their delight. All right, yours was one. All right, and that's what. Look, that would never have gone out.
Mine come in, my forecast.
Yeah.
So you're both over the moon.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely delighted, yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. When are they next back on this show together? Never. Okay, marvellous. Absolutely superb. Let's keep them apart from now on. I know you're loving the show this afternoon. We get some great feedback from you guys out there. It's what keeps the lights on air in this show. And we absolutely love bringing this to you every Saturday in association with Betfair. It is such good fun. All sports fan Adam, feed that Brussels sprouts bar. Feed that Brussels sprouts bar.
I like
You're
a
right,
Brussels
Adam. He's a
sprout.
miserly
I
individual.
love a Brussels sprout, to be honest. Yeah,
Do you?
quite happy, yeah.
Of course
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
I bet you love doing them as well, putting the crosses in them every morning, don't you?
The what?
Mummy, I've done the Brussels sprouts. You put crosses in the bottom of Brussels sprouts, don't you?
Do you?
You're trying to get away from that.
I just eat them.
You have to put crosses in them, right?
I don't know why you need to harm
You
them.
put cross in a Brussels sprout. You're the one that's
If
boiling
you
them.
don't like them, just don't eat them. You don't need to put crosses in them.
Oh, how did we get on to that? Joe Holden says Honeysuckle is the GOAT if she can beat Constitution Hill. Marc is our GOAT on the panel. We call him the greatest of all time, of course, comparisons. One of the GOATs is back out tonight. Argentina, of course, isn't he? That was a bit of a... Did you see the Qatari fans afterwards? They were like, where's Messi? Where's Messi? Have you seen some of the memes out now? It's absolutely fantastic. They were going up to reporters outside. They're going, where's Messi? He's sleeping. Where is Messi? It was absolutely brilliant to watch. Lionel Messi, of
I thought
course.
they were very poor, Argentina. Very poor.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, like England last night. Wasn't great, was it? But we didn't lose. Come on, we didn't lose. It's all good. Right, what's going to take out the Jerry Fielder? No picker. I was referencing Steve. I didn't give him a best bet either. I think long press is a bit of a price, to be honest.
Still drifting is this one. I thought this race here, the 230, just disappointing. We've not got the free places for the sportsbook. These non-runners are killing us. But there's two that I like here. I'm going to Dutch two in here. First one is one of Nicky Henderson's, Fear to Glory. I think Nathan Brennan, I like him. It's good value for the 7. Can be competitive of 130 here. done it well last time out at Cheltenham, so we're the first one. We're going to back one of us £20 win, 5.4 on the Betfair Exchange. And the second one we're going to back is one of Gary Moore's Hryhorskyj. Very impressive last time out. Got a step up, but I think 23 is a big price on the Betfair Exchange, so that's going to be the 2 plays here. So we got 25 on a knockout, around 83 for Fear or Glory, and 90 for Hryhorskyj. It's got a step up, but has the potential. I think it's overpriced. Probably have this one in around 10s. It's 23s.
You're going to try and knock it out of the park?
Yeah, fingers crossed. I thought I was unlucky with the other one, Dorking Boy. He was just too keen. But stable form is very important.
Give a great word
Gary
to that
Moore
winner,
yards
though, Red
flying
Risk
at the
as well.
moment.
We're getting so many socials coming in about Constitution Hill. It's almost about to break the machine, I think. Yeah, all right, okay, so we'll try and get to them as we go on. There's some very interesting ones as well. Sam, if you're listening to that in the gallery, we might try and get some of them out, because we have got a gap coming up, I think, after this race before the Coral Gold Cup, so we can talk about all of them then, guys. But let's concentrate on this Jerry Fielder. Justine Epatante finished second, of course, up at Newcastle. She won this race a couple of years ago. We often go to a champion-elect horse. Mark thinks that the market's all wrong. All about Teddy Blue. You two are both keen on this, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, useful on the flat in France. Very impressive on debut at Fontwell. Run really well. 20 lengths victory. First Street, I do like the form of that. Second to State Man, that won at Punchestown last week in the county hurdle, of course. And I've got a place in the Betfair hurdle, of course, and distance. So, but for me, yeah, Teddy Blue looked very impressive at Fontwell. I know Charlie likes him as well.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think like you look back to the Night Salute form at Kenton last year. You know, I think he'd have given him even more to do if he'd have jumped the last better. And he just looked like a really sort of raw horse last season, in need of sort of growing up. And his comeback run behind Boomborn was fine, you know, and then he won as he should do at Fontwell in a much lesser contest. But I think a mark of 129, when you look at his flat form as well, is workable. And I think a good gallop over 2 miles is what this horse wants, and he might just get that today.
Why is Boomborn as big as he is then?
I suppose he again, I presume it's the feeling that, you know, the Skeltons have had him absolutely primed for that listed race at Kenton on reappearance, and maybe that there's not as much improvement to come from him.
I quite like Grivitana here. I thought her comeback run was decent there. She was very big price that day. It's whether she might want a little bit further. She's getting stacks of weight here. Like I say, I was very keen on Picar. He's the non-runner here, but I would be keen to... I thought she would be a saver for me, so I'm putting one up. And Grivitana for me. And they've just won the last, haven't they, with a big price winner. And I'm hoping she'll repeat the feat. I don't think we've seen the best of her, that's for sure.
8-1 on the Betfair Exchange right now is a big price.
Yeah.
The stable's flying at the moment.
Always a tidy race, this, isn't it? I mean, not one of the runners has finished out the first 2 on their final starts. You're hoping that it's the outsider of the Gary Moore duo, though?
Yeah, I thought it was impressive last time out. Definitely got a step up, but at the prices, when we're looking for value here.
Bad news about Porticello, guys, I'm afraid, as well.
No.
Absolutely horrible. Thanks, Jamie Philby, for that news. That's very, very sad. In the previous race, we lost Porticello, who you just had the feeling, when it clicked for him, had the world at his feet. So really sad to see that. Let's hope Gary gets a fillip and the team, basically, in this race coming up.
Sorry to connections.
Yeah, very much so. We don't like to see that at all, do we? At any stage. All right. OK, we must move on. Let me see what I've got coming up here. Again, loads, just Constitution Hill, Constitution Hill, Constitution Hill, Constitution Hill. Very sad, that, isn't it, about Porticello? OK, all right, let's hope the Teddy Blue does it. Barry Orr likes Teddy Blue. He kept putting him up at big prices last season. And I'm sure Barry will be having an interest in this race, for sure, once he's given the prize out, of course, to Michael Buckley up at Newcastle. The team are up there, aren't they?
I was going to ask Barry where Nicky got that hat from.
It's Sir Peter O'Sullivan's.
Oh, we know this. We know where it's from.
Sir Peter O'Sullivan's
Sir
racing
Peter
hat. It's his
O'Sullivan.
winter hat, yeah. And Nicky is donning it all day. Nicky's eyesight's better, of course, isn't it? He's had that eye operation. And he's got a spring step. You had him down at the yard, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Why was that?
He was good. Yeah, I mean, like I say, he was in really good form.
He came down because he got association with a horse.
No, he was coming to look at a couple of horses about potentially leasing them off some owner breeders.
And while he was there,
pulled that horse.
you thought you'd take the opportunity to do your QVC salesman and try and sell him a filly. Is she gone?
No, not yet.
All right, okay. All right.
Chalk her down there.
Point to point, please. Point to point, please. I'd like to go. We'd love to go to a point to point as a team, I think. That's starting. You're going tomorrow, aren't you? It's now alive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the season's going now.
It's an exciting part of the season, isn't it? Because, you know, horses that would be trying, you know, to make a price tag in the maidens and all that sort of thing, future stars.
Yeah, we've got, yeah, exactly. All of that's going on at the moment, yeah.
Great stuff. All right, okay. So 2 for Teddy Blue, 1 for Grivitana and 1 for Hryhorskyj. the outsider in
What
the
about
Jerry
Henderson's
Ford.
other mare, Fierce of Glory, isn't he?
That's the one I
That's
like.
the one that
Ninth.
Yeah.
I like
Mark's
it, yeah.
with you.
But I like the £7 claimer on board. It'd be competitive.
Nathan Brennan, tell us a little word about him.
Yeah, I think he's talented. There's a lot of good claimers out there right now. So the one I mentioned earlier was Connor Rabbit. Did make a bold claim. Maybe one of the best I've seen in 10 years. Race for Nicky Richards.
You think this is the best claimer you've seen?
Yeah.
Who was one 10 years ago? That's what I thought when you said that.
I quite liked Connor Schumacher when he came through. He was very talented. He's not riding anymore. I think he's involved with the Dave Cross, no Feely syndicate.
Oh, okay.
But really
All right.
like Connor Rabbit. He's absolute value for the £10 claim.
Something about the name Connor.
No, maybe it's just a coincidence, but keep your eyes
Look
on
out for the
Connor Rabbit,
rabbit.
Yeah, he's so talented, yeah.
What about 20 years ago? Charlie Poste, claim himself.
I don't think I should have been
20
putting back
years
then,
ago,
you know?
was it? Was it 20 years ago? I'm just looking
Nearly,
down
yeah.
to see what we've got coming up for the rest of the show. Don't forget, we go on to the 340 today, guys. That's
30
basically
years
what
ago, it's you, isn't it?
Touche.
Bit longer
Right,
than that, I
okay,
think.
Mark, give us an update then. What are they queuing up for? First Street was easy earlier on. Is he coming back in?
Yeah, he's Fear of Glory is 5.49 to 2, First Street 4.67 to Teddy Blue 3 to 1, 4. And they can't really split them. A little bit late money for Gravitana, Paul Nichols. That was out to 8s into 7s now. But this looks mightily competitive, and it's just unfortunate we had the runner, because it would have been great for an each way bet. Only 2 places on offer. We've got Yorksey 22s, and we've got Fear of Glory 5.5. That's the 2 we're on here.
And a reminder, we have got the gap coming up after this race, so plenty of time to chat about, all things racing. To keep it racing, shall we? Although France-Denmark could be an interesting chat as well. Who's loving the World Cup out there? Have you got any good bets going on that, potentially? What's the sportsbook saying about these? I'm assuming after the Brazil demolition job the other night, they've hardened at the top of the market, have they?
Obviously, there was a bit of an overreaction when England won their first game. Again,
did
I
they
think
go
they're
into?
too short. Yeah, I would lay them all day. No bias, but nah.
Doesn't sound it,
I
does
don't
it?
like it, no.
Doesn't sound it.
I was quite impressed with Spain. Brazil, I mean, they were 7 to 2 there and at 3.7. There's 15 million in the market there, so there's a lot of money for them. France 7.8. I think they're a big price around 7s. England.
France would be the value there, wouldn't they? Do you think?
Charlison looked good the other night, didn't he, for Brazil?
Very good, didn't he?
Ex-Watford.
The villain. He's done nothing for Spurs.
But I mean,
buying them in for Brazil.
you wonder, do you reckon Kane will move in the summer or something and Richarlison's ready there to step in? Because
He's a very talented
yeah.
number 9. I tell you what, I think Harry Kane's had a good tournament so far. I know he hasn't scored yet, but I thought in the first game, even last night, he holds the ball out. It's the best
He
in the
does,
business,
yeah.
and it's so good.
Teddy
Anyway,
Blue not
France and
playing.
Italy would be at that
Teddy
price.
Blue not playing ball.
difficult here at the moment.
What's going on with the Blue Star there?
Don't want to go out to the start.
Teddy Blue, this is a horse that they, sort of like Boodle's horse, didn't they, last year, basically, and running the Adonis and all that sort of stuff. And he's just looking a little bit tricky. Jamie not having a good day so far, then, basically.
The Germans are a big price. They're 30s on the exchange, so they're not going to be any worse than that first game. I think Holland and Belgium look very poor. They're shorter. I think the Germans are overpriced at 30s.
Okay, all
Could
right.
be a trade there. Back to Lay.
Righty-ho. Good to know. All right. So, yeah, I don't know. They look terrible, didn't they, Germans?
Yeah.
I was just sort of saying that with a little happy laugh there.
Well, I mean, like, hey, we're all competitive, aren't we?
German racing is thriving, the football, on the wayside.
Mm.
All right, happy with that, aren't we?
How
And
did
Teddy Blue,
Scotland
I'm
get on?
thrilled to
Did
say, is
Scotland
now
play? When did they play?
Oh, you're lowering a blow on Mark there, aren't you? Absolutely. Yeah, and then watching on from the sidelines, I'm afraid.
He's not been to any tournaments for a long time.
We had some colleagues over actually watching the Welsh game yesterday. There's some brutal
Yeah,
fans.
I remember when we beat them at Euro 96.
Yeah.
Well, the Scots.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a game, wasn't it?
I remember
Well,
watching that. I
okay.
think
Loads of
I've
people
seen
like
you in a
it.
few tournaments before.
Gaza turned them inside out.
Yeah,
didn't he?
Gaza. Hendry.
Yeah.
One of the game of games, that was.
Braveheart. I remember that. Remember that save?
Gary McAllister, wasn't it? Missing the penalty. That
No,
was
do
the,
you
that
remember,
was
remember the one in 2000, the Euros, where Seaman just hit his shoulder? Don Hutchison scored. Remember that? But I don't really remember any of the losers, unfortunately.
No.
Apparently
There's
the
a lot of
rain
them.
has started to come at Newbury, we're being told. It's finally arrived. That was Kieran Thurwell, our senior producer, has just come on and told me that. I don't know if he's made the journey down there, but it is raining at Newbury. Well, that won't affect this race, for example, but I don't imagine it will probably get into that ground. It's funny ground out there at the moment, isn't it? A lot of people are saying it. I mean, Alan King reminded us in his Weekender column that in 1976, and I haven't fact-checked this, I'll just take King at his word, that, I'm sure he's right, that in 1976, Cheltenham didn't race till January 1977, So we didn't have, the first half of the season, Cheltenham didn't exist because it was such a drought that year.
Amazing,
This is the year we've had the comparison to that. could argue we've not had it so bad thus far.
So we're feeling we should have suspended racing.
I'm not suggesting that. What I'm saying is that we were all going mental about, you know, what was happening with the ground situation and all that sort of stuff. What can they do? It's loose at the minute, isn't it? And still firm underfoot, which is when horses get jarred.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But I mean, then should there have been more extensive watering? I don't know. You know,
Have they got the water to do it?
Well, I mean, that's another problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's
Song course
Nicky
very
Henderson
strong,
said
yeah.
in the week, the problem is the water's going right the way through. It's just soaking it all up
Yeah.
and just drying out.
Well, there you are. So
Yeah.
who's to blame? Probably the weather, if you're going to blame anyone at the moment. But it has started raining at Newbury, we are told. Yeah, there's a bit of a wind up as well, isn't there? And away we go in the Jerry Filden.
Paris Encore very strong for the off. That was 10s into 6s.
For Kim.
Paris Encore for
Kim Bailey.
For Nicky Richards. That
Is it
one.
Nicky
Callum Bewley on
Richards?
board,
Sorry,
yeah.
apologies. Nicky Richards and Callum Bewley, of course. Could see him a good ride on Saturday down at Newbury. And Hryhorskyj then out the back. At the moment, Teddy Blue, can see why he wears that hood, because he likes to get on with it. Grivitana up there as well, which I'm quite happy to see. Paris Encore, the late mover in the market, said Marc Hryhorskyj, up there in third. Boomborn, who conquered, of course, Teddy Blue when he last won. First Street on the inside in those Bamford colours, and then Theatre Glory got a nice position, what you would call in touch with leaders, and Hryhorskyj seeing them in. Okay, how many? I mean, I'm just looking at the ground there. It's rough ground, isn't it now?
First
Patchy,
Street 9
basically.
to 4 and running here 2 to 1. Pretty short.
Beautiful spot he's got, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of course,
he has, yeah.
Lovely spot from James Bowen. And again, you were talking earlier to me about him, top rider.
Yeah, really good. Both of the I think Sean's slightly ahead in the minute. He's had obviously a bit more experience, more time, but yeah, both very, very good riders. Jamie would be hoping that Teddy Blue just drops. He just seemed to have dropped his head a little bit early doors. He was just sort of running a bit free without the choke out, but he seemed to have settled a bit now.
Harry Skelton not happy with Boomborn.
Yeah, landed a bit flat-footed, got a reminder down the shoulder.
Yeah, Paris Encore going really well then, and they're sort of trapping a little bit now. Marc Hryhorskyj on the far side.
Yeah, First Street, 7 to 4 and running here. Teddy Blue out to 5.9, 9 to 2. Paris Encore's a 12 to 1 chance if you don't like him in running. Grivitana for Paul Nicholls is shortening up as well, the one in front. I mean, that's went off 7s, 9 to 2 and running here on the Betfair Exchange.
And Hryhorskyj, the outside of the lot, still seeing them in then. Poste, if you could change your mind now and jump on one, are you still happy with Teddy Blue?
I'm happy enough. But
Oh!
That's mine gone.
Oh, Theatre Glory and unseat there. 0 Nathan Brennan could do. Good to see Nathan get up very quickly because Hryhorskyj trampled right on top of him. Made of stern stuff, aren't they, these guys? Grivitana, though, still in front. I dare say she's doing a little bit much as well for Harry Cobden's liking. Don't you reckon, Batchy?
Probably, yeah, just a little bit too much, but still, he's got his hands down on her neck, still settled.
Loads of people will be at the track today expecting First Street to go and do the business. 2-pointer, of course, earlier in the week in his weekender column from Paul Keeley, still stronger than last night. And
got the tempo quite long out.
What a shout.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got
they're
the
really trapping. Harry Cobden is not mucking about. No. Harry Cobden, of course, on Oscar Elite. We'll be going through each runner in the Gold Cup after this for you and giving our thoughts on them. We want to hear your tips out there, but right
is a
now
long way
we're
from
coming to
us.
3 out there, eyeballing each
This
other.
is a long way from us.
If you're Bowen on First Street, you're loving this, aren't you? 'Cause
Yeah, but he's
It's
nicking
even
it.
money.
Paris
running.
Encore cannot go with them. Boomborn is trying to come back into it, but surely too late, and Hryhorskyj right out the back as
Jamie's
well.
gone and pressed.
Grivitana does stay, guys. This will be interesting. She needed her first run back. She's getting loads of weight now at the moment. Teddy Blue just finding it a bit too hot now, paying for that duel. He's gone back to third. Looks like it's going to be between Nicholls and Henderson here, guys. And Grivitana at the moment has got First Street slightly at it, but James Bowen thinks there'll be a pace collapse.
Yeah, he's going to need it, but I mean, Grivitana is still travelling best of all. Harry Cobden is the only one still travelling as they run down the 2 out.
Oh, that's a good jump as well from Grivitana, who's getting
Teddy Blue
stacks
coming
away.
back a bit.
Now First Street is showing his credentials. This is a horse that finished second in the county hurdle, don't forget. But as soon as he comes up to Grivitana, she wants a little bit more as well. It's going to be all on the jump, this lad's at the last. First Street comes up best. Grivitana on the inside as well. Teddy Blue doing his best to get back into it, but he's booked for third at best. Looks like First Street's going to get the gamble here, lads, is it? Grivitana, though, digging deep.
back.
Weight is definitely telling. First Street showing his class on the outside. We've got half a furlong left to go, and away you go. I tell you what, this is really, really good performance, and well done, Nicky Henderson and team, to get this guy back. He gets the Jerry Filden. Could he just be on the route to graded hurdles? Marc Hryhorskyj, Grivitana, run a sledger as well.
Yeah, Nicholls Yard absolutely flying. I mean, we're not sure what Harry Cobden was holding on to there, but I mean, that one's went as low as 1.67 for £222. First Street, and considering how far they were racing there, Grivitana, I think that one's run a really solid race there.
Got racing early there.
And
Really early.
the winner had the box seat. Was all out up the
Has
running
that
for me.
cost Grivitana?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's cost that one.
Because she's won a mighty race, isn't she?
Well, again, it was out of Harry Cobden's control, though, because Jamie came and pressed him sort of at turning out the back. And at that stage, you can't really do anything bar go forward with that sort of increase in tempo. And like we said, if you're James Bowen following through, you kind of think it's Christmas because you've got your two main dangers taking each other on with probably 5 furlongs plus to run at Newbury, which is such a long straight. And, you know, he'd still taken... You know, it's only 100 yards from the line that he's actually managed to finally get on top. And so you'd have to say it's a factor. Teddy Blue ran a strange race.
I was just about to say that.
He kind of looks really awkward. He don't want to come out on the track. He wears a hood. He kind of hurdled sloppy. He got outpaced. He's hanging left. Jamie's wanting to keep him away from the others. He then looks like he's going to drop out the screen. And then when he comes back into view over the line, he's probably only been beat 5 lengths in the end.
He jumped. It's some of his jumps, his back end lands first.
Really through them, yeah.
Turning in now, this is where Paris Encore, the well-backed Paris Encore, has just found it far too hot.
Do you know Yorksey's ran a good race. That's finished 4th. It's only 2 lengths behind.
He couldn't
Teddy
go to
Blue.
Gallop, could he, when they ramped
He
it?
needs further, but definitely one for the notebook. I mean,
This is where we're turning in, guys, running to the third last mark, and you can see Teddy Blue here.
They've turned the screw on.
They really have, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're trapping at it. 2 aggressive jockeys, Jamie Moore and Harry Cobden, going for it. And this is where you think, it's where I said, didn't I, to you, Posty, that, you know, this is where Sean, James is going to be absolutely loving life on First Street.
Yeah.
Now, I was expecting First Street, therefore, to go and win
win
very
easy.
readily.
5, yeah.
He's had to battle there, which is not something I've always had him down for.
No.
I've got to be honest. He wears a hood. He's settled beautifully. He's on the inside. He's definitely got the scope to jump a fence, hasn't he? He's 5, only a 5-year-old. I'm wondering where I'm going with this. Now, has Grivitana just run the absolute race of her life, and she's going to be an absolute good thing wherever she goes next? Or has First Street just had a little think about it? I'm just making up my mind. We're watching it from 2 hours.
I mean, I suppose you can argue it's First Street's first run back of the season. There's every reason to think that he could improve a bit and maybe...
ton of a blow.
Yeah, and you know, Grivitana's had that run under her belt already. I think what we're also seeing here, which is an interesting one, is Golden Horn as a jump sire. First Street's by Golden Horn.
He's out of ladies first, this chap, isn't he? He's a good mare.
And you know, he kind of has been switched over from, not that he would have been then, but he's been switched over to jumping stallion duties, and he's actually got a really high percentage of 100+ rated flat horses, but didn't get stakes performers, and he's been switched over as a jump stallion. Could be really interesting for the future. I think you can probably say that First Street's going to improve upon this, and Grivitana's ran a really cracking race, and you'd think that there's going to be a nice pot in her somewhere as well.
Wherever they go with First Street, he's going to be always prominent in the betting. It's Hendo, isn't it? It's the Bamford colours as well, Batch, that you know well, obviously. Yeah. And I don't know, what do we... There's Neil the Wheel, look. He loved that one, Hendo's driver, Neil the Wheel. And they obviously probably would have fancied this. But the market suggested beforehand, didn't it, that maybe he might need it. It was, what was he when the market opened up for this market? He was around about 5-2, wasn't he?
Well, First
he
Street
drifted out to 7-2 this morning.
Quite weak. He was around 9-4 on the sports, which turned 4.13, the winner, BSP. I think, as you say, I think Grivitana's run a solid race. Maybe done a little bit too much.
Could this guy go Christmas hurdle?
Well, he's going to be 150+ now.
So the Betfair hurdle, you would imagine, Betfair handicaps probably
he was third, beat 2 3/4 lengths of 141 last year.
You wouldn't fancy the Betfair off an exalted rating.
He's not pulling away there either. I think.
I think
he's what I'm trying to work out.
He has needed that.
Yeah,
he will come on for that. But I think James has just been given a massive early Christmas present.
Yeah,
because of the duel.
Early,
definitely.
Because of the duel. This is why we have the jockeys on the show, guys. So you look, we tell you where your money went, basically. If your Bon Paris Encore has come down to a southern track and just found it all too hot, but probably the money suggests that they think there might be another race for her somewhere. Grivitana, absolute sledge. I'm not sure what to make of Teddy Blue, really. Pre-race antics and hood, and he was coming back at the finish, wasn't he? I mean, looked like he was cooked.
Yeah.
Frustrating chap.
He needs to brush up on his jumping as well, as Posty said. He's just no fluency about him, wasn't he? He kept bunny hopping, the back end landing first, and
he just looks awkward.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, look, here we are. We're about an hour away from the finish of this show. Basically, our final race is at 3:40. We've still got plenty coming your way, including.
Doesn't time fly when you're having fun, Dave?
Absolutely. 2011 was when you won the big race coming up, and here you are.
Talk us through it.
Well, we went down to the first.
We had to. How many fences did they jump
21.
in? Hey, there we go. Look at that. It's all up there, isn't it? We referenced a picture. Have we got the picture of Batch yesterday? at Newbury, I'm asking the guys at the gallery to see if we can get it. Because you were there yesterday, weren't you? And I suggested,
There it is.
there it is. Look, who knew he won in 2013 on Trio de Len?
So hold on, let's. We know
Can you
what.
not point any higher than that, Matchy? What's
These
going
are
on?
quite high up on a wall, on some stairs. I am actually standing on a chair, tiptoeing, and I still can't reach
And
it.
I'll tell you what, 30 seconds after he took that picture, he sent it straight into us. He knows what he's playing. Look at the great names there. Bobsworth was a great moment.
Yeah.
I remember where I was when that happened. You know, like you say, pivotal moments. I think horse racing is brilliant for that. You can always remember, can't you, roughly where you were. I can always tell what the weather was when you think back on certain rides and things like that. I was in a
Australia. I was in Australia.
Were you?
Yeah, at the time, yeah, good times. When did you know, Matty, that you had it in the bag? How far out?
Probably 3 out. I sort of saw Timmy Murphy out the corner of my eye.
It was coming on the inside, was it?
Yeah,
I
creepy.
remember that. Yeah.
Timmy Murphy.
I was on Timmy Murphy that day, I remember it. Yeah.
That
it's a
American job.
great moment. Who would he have been on the race?
DJ.
Who was
Great Endeavour.
He's on-
Great
you
Endeavour,
know
the
David
great.
Johnson one?
Grey horse, yeah.
Had he won the
Yeah.
Paddy Power Gold Cup and he came for it, didn't he?
Yeah,
that
and
was that year.
It was a doubtful stayer, and Timmy was just doing a Timmy ride.
What were you saying to him? Was it what, 3 out? Were you?
I wasn't
Were
talking.
you? Or were you?
He
Actually,
was right on the inside. I was on the outside because
For
I
you
knew
not to be
because I
talking
knew
during
the
the
rail
race
come
means-
off from the water, so I was a little bit shrewd. And
It's the business time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, if you're wondering what we're on about, Carruthers, of course, the great horse for Mattie Batchelor, won this race coming up, the 305. There's the market there. Reminder then, First Street, there's your Betfair SP, 3-1, Grivetana, and Teddy Blue as well. The Jerry Fielden done and dusted. 2 more races coming from Newbury, including the Coal Gold Cup. We'll be going through each and every runner for you and our thoughts with them. The shape of the race. Marc will be putting a trade on for Betfair as well, if you want to follow that in. But before we do it, let's get some more reaction up, shall we, to the Betfair Fighting Fifth. The 210. Shaddai comes back and says, all right, great to have you with us this afternoon. Some good socials coming up. Epiton is 154, getting £7. So you reckon that she's run to, so she's around 161, the mark you've given her, and beat her 15 lengths. Didn't even touch him. So what they're doing out there at the moment, guys, what you're obviously doing is trying to work out what sort of RPR it's getting. What mark? How high can he go? That's the question here, guys, isn't it?
I don't think Epiton was given a hard race. Running for a place, in my opinion.
And here's
I
the
think,
name
yeah.
that I've mastered. Dugru Zuru. Like it? I haven't said that in a little while, and it's great to have you back on the show. What price Constitution Hill gets an RPR of over 185 in the Champion Hurdle? Highest RPR in the last 10 years?
What is it?
What can you think what it might have been?
Last 10 years.
that was 10 years.
Over hurdles.
It usually goes to the chase as the highest RPR.
Right.
There's
Sprinter Sacra.
I don't think it was actually. I think it was a 184.
Duvan.
Aplutard's Gold Cup.
Really?
I think it was 184. I'm pretty
Surprising.
sure that was what it was. Sprinter Sacra, I think, is the greatest 2-mile chaser I've ever seen. We've been really blessed, haven't we? And on the flat recently, to have these great horses coming around. And Constitution is definitely one. What price to get over? What price to beat Aplutard's performance? It's going to be short, isn't it?
I mean, Honeysuckle was RPR 159, last year's champion. You're saying 185.
Who's saying
It
185?
was Honeysuckle in the champion hurdle last year, RPR 159.
Yeah, because of the mare's allowance, basically. Yeah,
Overall rating 165. So you're thinking
it was a very low RPR,
Yeah.
that, isn't it? But of course, you've got to take into the allowances and all that sort of
Constitution Hill got to beat Honeysuckle by 10
stuff.
lengths?
Yeah.
This horse has never been beaten Honeysuckle. People are getting a bit excited, I think.
If we're winning by 15 up at the Fighting Fifth, it's going to be Cheltenham probably could argue is his better track. Thinking back to that, if I was that, why are you laughing? I'm getting a bit excited. I'm getting too giddy.
Dave, you get excited.
Yeah.
You
You
never.
get excited. We have just witnessed class there.
Thank you, Matty.
Get excited, come on.
You can come back again
Come
anytime.
on.
buddy. I'm going to have a drink with you afterwards. I've got to sit in a car with him on the way back. He's going to be absolutely livid. Of course, but the nap one. So that's the most important thing. And thank you for letting everyone know that my fictional nap got sunk in the first at Newbury. Dave Pearson, good to have you back, my man. Did Constitution even leave first gear? This could be the best there's ever been. Not just me getting giddy.
It could be. I'm not disputing it.
You're giving a bit of balance, which is great.
Exactly.
We would be getting, caned out there, I think, if we were all just like, this is Pegasus. And Sam Hart out there had to get his way in, didn't he? I don't think this will happen at all. But would Honeysuckle have more of a chance in the mare's hurdle?
Of course she would, but I mean,
Oh,
it'd be a really
Well, she's won
backward
it, hasn't
step
she?
for the sport. Yeah.
She's won it, of course. She's unbeaten. What's she, 15 for 15 now?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was 16 for 16, is it? I can't remember. The Honey. When's she coming out? When is the Hatton's Grace? I want to know. I should know, but of course that's at Fairy House, isn't it?
It's not this weekend, no? First
Funny.
weekend in December.
10-1 for the mares if you think Honeysuckle's going to go down that route.
Good Lord.
Could just run in a champion hurdle.
Don't be
and
so
win another
ridiculous.
One, though.
Don't be so
7-2, 4-1.
ridiculous. 4th of December, so it is next Sunday. Thanks, Sam, for that. All right, great reaction out there to... I'm looking to see if I've got an RPR actually for him yet, because they're usually quite quick, our handicappers, with these big performances, because everyone wants to see what we think it is. Let's see what we've given him. No, yeah, they're going to be doing a lot of musing about this. Of course, Keith Melrose and his team will be doing that.
What are you saying about the time?
Good question.
About that?
Let's have a look at that. What was the time? Now, if it's if you think that the first couple of races were slow by 14, 15, he's done the clock.
Okay.
He's fast by 2.83 seconds.
Unextended.
And he's eased him.
I don't know if he eased him, to be honest.
He eased him. That would be eased in the close-up comments. I would be writing them. It would.
Just not unchallenged.
Wonder who's doing the close-up comments. Probably Richard Young, who's one of our top close-up guys. Unchallenged. Was unchallenged. Going back to it, and we will get to the Coral Cup any second now coming up. We've got plenty of time there. Cheltenham's definitely more his track, isn't it? He almost turning in. That was when I said, is he going to give him something to think about?
Why is Cheltenham more his track?
Because we can go down and then we get up that hill, don't we? And he's just going to go. Coming down from that third last to second last, he's going to look just the bee's knees, isn't he? He's going to look imperious.
Charlie doesn't fancy him at all, does he? He's a lay, isn't he?
It's a lay for Charlie. It's a lay for Charlie. Now, listen, some people will be saying...
I'm just fascinated why you're making these sort of sweeping statements that Cheltenham's more his track, you know, as in he just smashed the clock at Newcastle, flat track.
Despite it, what I'm saying I think that Cheltenham we will see an even more dynamic.
I think he got everything his own way when he beat Desert Dynamo in Jonbon, because he sat in behind perfect runner.
Desert Dynamo.
They're not good. Well, I've not seen the form.
Very interesting pronunciations on this show, aren't they?
He had the pilot seat in behind, didn't he? And just quickened away one easy.
Yeah. You can see, look, this is the great thing about this game, isn't it? The greatest game of all. This is what it's about. We want strong opinions, and you don't have to be all in Constitution Hill. You're not, obviously. What happens next week when we expect what we should happen? Honeysuckle comes out and wins, because she's often very impressive in the Hatton's Grace.
What do you mean, what happens?
Well, what happens price-wise? That 4-to-1's gone, right? Because these things are all reactionary, aren't they?
Like
Have you taken the 4-to-1?
No, but I'd be tempted. Very tempted.
I can tell. I can tell.
What price does Constitution Hill go off? If Honeysuckle wins next week, what price do you think it goes off? Honey?
Well, he won't drift, so she'll just get shorter. It'll be a 2-horse war in the market.
6-4, 7-4 to 2 at the top of the betting, something like that.
He's got to be. No, he'll be odds on.
4-7.
What do we reckon?
I think no matter what, because they'll avoid each other, and if he does what he's doing now,
I mean, so what? He lines up at the Contenders hurdle at Sandown or something.
well, the Contenders is gone. They've removed it.
Have they?
They have.
So where's he go next?
This is what I was going to ask the floor. I'm curious.
Kingwell.
Don't be absolute bonkers.
He sort of he gazumped that idea, Henderson, when they mentioned the Kingwell, didn't they?
Kingwell?
He said he didn't think Wincanton would suit him.
No.
No.
Now that's interesting, isn't it? Because I'm saying Cheltenham might be more his track, because the stiffer the track, the better. Sandown, obviously, we know is his playground.
Cheltenham's undulating track, though, sharp track.
It's not as sharp as Wincanton. Come on,
it's
you're playing around. You're being a bit Rob.
But it is interesting to know, where does he go next?
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Is there anything in Ireland? He mentioned Ireland.
There's no way.
No, he mentioned it in his interview, but that was before. That was before it ran. Yeah.
Look, Epperton had the good grace to come over for the Clarence House. Shouldn't we repeat the favour?
Epperton came over with the
Not
Clarence
Epperton,
House.
sorry. Energamine.
Where did she go?
That was my line of the show. It's one of the good horse wrong.
Where did she go? She come back from
Energamine.
Energamine had the good grace to come over for the Clarence House. The race of the ages, they call that.
Imagine Epperton, the Clarence House.
Might yet happen. She'd be magic over a fence, wouldn't she? The jocks are going to love that one, guys. We'll just move on very swiftly, shall we? Right. Coral Gold Cup time. Let's get into it. Lamilos, a recent inhabitant to go to Dan Skelton's, who won the Duchess of Westminster.
Yeah.
Which is often a leading pointer for, believe it or not, a banger. Last month, basically. A horse that wants a bit of dig in the ground. So if they have done really good job with the ground, you were a little bit surprised he was so strong in the market earlier, weren't you?
Yeah, I suppose I kind of was, but I mean, look, he's £4 well in, isn't he? After Bangor, he's moved from Tim Vaughan to Dan Skelton. You know, they've obviously seen plenty at home. I mean, he was a talented horse anyway, and I suppose you get the impression that he's been plotted out with this in mind, hasn't he? You know, he's waited till Bangor for his first run of the season. He only comes in, like I say, he comes in with just the penalty, doesn't he? And he's £4 well in.
Yeah.
So they are a yard that are synonymous with plotting things out, aren't they? I mean, especially before
sure.
over hurdles. But now as the yard gets older in length of time, we're going to probably see this more and more over fences as well.
I spoke to Dan, dodgy Wi-Fi Skelton, about this chap, and I said, you know, looking forward, that was pre-New. He gave us one of the best lines we've ever had on What a Shout, Nube Negra Heaven. It's going to be Nube Negra Heaven. That was before Edwardstone came out, of course. He's such a good talker, Dan. And he was talking about this chap, and I said to him, I said, you know, you must fancy your chances a little bit. He goes, is he best fresh, Dave? That's the question. We got a £4 penalty, but we wanted to see what we got, obviously. So
Yeah.
any juice in the ground is going to serve what looks like it's going to go off favourite for the biggie at 305 Marc.
Yeah, he's 11 to 2, 6.6 on the Betfair Exchange, nearly 400,000 match in the market. I think he's quite short, to be honest with you. There's two that I like here that I'm going to Dutch. There's two plays, both of Mr. Tizzer Joe's. I got his first one is Fiddler on the Roof. This one's been quite strong. It's around 16s. It's trading 9s now on the Betfair Exchange, 9.8. So we're going to back this one. We'll have a £15 win to knock at 132. And the other one I like is Lost in Translation. I really like Ferry Ginger. I think he's good value. For the claim, I have a £10 win there.
We're nodding, by the way. The guys are in the gallery. We can see the Betfair Exchange.
I think he's good value. For the claim, I mean, it was 33 to 1 on the Betfair Sportsbook. I think he's 16, 17.
Yeah, he would be.
He's a tiddler, isn't he?
I mean, he sort of started riding him point to points middle of last season, just as soon as
They
he
got him
turned
on
16.
some hunters, didn't they?
Yeah, he
boys.
got some lovely schoolmasters.
Yeah, I remember around Wincanton when he came to the fore.
And then his uncle or whatever, Paul swooped in and snatched him away from his uncle.
From Joe. We'll have him, thanks. And yeah, okay, so that's Freddie Gingell on, of course.
Lost in Translation. He's a class angle here.
Yeah, Kills has gone for this chap, hasn't he?
He's taken 7
well.
off, so he's only off 143, and obviously Fiddler on the Roof, that was a good third at Kempton last time out. This one's very strong on the Betfair Exchange as well. Around 16s, it's trading 9s on the Betfair Exchange.
Okay, all right. So I'm just thinking about where Keeley is actually at the moment. He's at Newbury. He's with Dave Lowe and Rich Ritchie and all those guys, and they're having a good old day out there. And he's put 2 winners up. Tom Park will be with him as well. There's going to be some scenes at Newbury.
Who was the one who put on
Lost in
Washington?
Translation.
The best handicapped horse in
That
training.
was Tom Park. That's a low
okay.
blow, Marc Hryhorskyj. That's
Yes.
a low blow.
No, but we like it. Yeah.
He probably is the best handicapped horse in training. He just can't run at the moment. He's just got a problem actually running, isn't he?
He's trying to shorten the market so he can lay it in the place. Is that what he's trying to do?
Low blow. You don't get away with anything on this show at all. All right, so they're the 2 for you, yeah?
Yeah.
We like to have 2 in this race, right? Is this the kind of race where
I think you can have
you
2.
can have
yeah.
2, can't we?
I'm
We can
having
have 2.
3, yeah.
Of course you are,
Yeah,
Batch.
I'm
You
having
got the biggest
You're-
certainty in the
It's
forecast
my
ever.
race, I can have what I want.
You can have field if you want.
Your Coral Gold Cup royalty.
All right, let's give
Exactly.
Batsy the floor. If you were going to win your body weight in Hennessy, who would be the horse you were thinking is the best chance to do so in this race?
I know they do really like the Irish horse, Bostleton.
Yes, tell us what you heard about that yesterday.
Appreciated the step up and trip, winning the Kerry National.
Yeah.
They really fancy it, but you all know the answer to this. How many 5-year-olds have won the Hennessy or the Coral Cup? Sorry,
0.
0.
How many have tried though?
I'll get
Many
that
have
up.
tried and many have failed. But
I love it, Batch. That's brilliant.
Correct.
Great blaggery.
Carrick Rambler
Sorry?
won the ultimate at Cheltenham.
He's
What?
older than that.
What's the horse called?
What?
What's the horse called? Lucinda's horse?
Carrick Rambler.
I got it right at that time. I thought we called it Carrot Round.
No, you got something in your ear, Dave.
No, actually, I'm the only one with an earpiece in, actually.
No, I thought it was wax, but won the
getting
ultimate.
belters here.
Won the ultimate at Cheltenham. Needed the run at Carlisle last time and was just going for a run, big run. And I also like Fiddle on the Roof, second last time, good third over hurdles and cheap pieces on first time.
You got that stat for me?
How many 5-year-olds
Yeah.
have tried in the last decade?
No,
2.
Big price,
Only
Conor
two
Rambler,
5-year-olds have
12.
tried to win this.
12 to 1.
A good question. I can find them. I haven't
I
really
mean,
got time to do
I
it,
think
but
so what you're seeing here is there's not
0 from 2,
Yeah,
basically.
but there's not
even a place.
There's not many
It's
battle-hardened
rare.
5-year-olds that are chasing.
He's an interesting horse, isn't he?
He's actually been round the block
He
a bit
really
this side
has.
as well, you know. So he's
He's a likeable chap. You know,
Very.
he won on the flat, didn't he? And he's having this will be his 13th run over fences, I think. He didn't hang around over hurdles, actually.
no, not at all. No.
You know,
And his last 2 runs have come in big fields, 20
Have,
runners
yeah,
and 16 runners. So should put him in good stead for this
And
sort
what
of race.
do we like in front running performances? He's likely to be one in staying chases, front runners.
We want to be up there, don't we?
We want to be up
Yeah.
there.
Up there with the pace.
So Bustleton and Fiddler.
And
And
go on, you say it again.
Sea Rambler.
Korak Rambler.
That's the one, yeah.
So what I like what Batch is doing here, guys. So I actually like this. You've got Bustleton, you've got Fiddler on the roof, and you've got Korak. You got a hold up merchant, you've got a midfield sit, and you've got a front runner.
Did you deliberately play it like that?
Of course I did, yeah.
Many have tried, and many have
Many
failed. All right, I really like Korak Rambler. I love him as a horse. We had Lucinda Russell on What a Shout, which you probably hopefully have seen on Thursday. She always gives you a little bit more than you're expecting.
I saw that and she seemed a bit bullish. And I thought if they go quick, could set it up for this one.
We love having winners, but we love having winners in big races, which a lot
12
of
to
people
1
picked up on
on
that. But
Exchange.
she said he's an interesting character because he'll be looking at the ambulances early on. He'll be looking like he's not really enjoying jumping fences, and then he comes alive.
She
And I
drives down
said-
in the old camper van, Lucinda.
She does.
Yeah.
I wonder if many people have seen her going down
Yeah.
the camper van. Absolutely, because she takes the dogs down with her. She's got
That's
3
it,
dogs.
yeah. I
That's
saw her
it.
there yesterday, yeah.
Had all of that on watch.
And
now.
Scoo.
And Scoo, yeah, the biggest dog of them all.
Oh, hold on, this is
He's been in this
this is
studio.
taking a turn.
He's been in
One of
this
the greatest
studio.
jockey of all time. You can't
He has
call
been
him.
in this studio. He absolutely was one of them. He absolutely was one of them. What's Tom on in this? Of course, he's on remaster. He's on Jericho Rock, isn't he?
Let's change the subject.
Listen, he's an old dog skewers. I'm going to see him in a week's time as well. That'll be clipped up, no doubt. Jericho Rock is the pick of Tom Scudamore. You think he's picked wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I heart rolling head a bit. I remastered. You know, I was with him when I was here last at Aintree, and they said he was going to need the run. And I thought he was really impressive that day. They keep saying that he wants softer ground, but I mean, it was only sort of on the slow side of good at Aintree that day, and he was very impressive. He was travelling real strong in this race a year ago when he fell 4 out. You know, he almost was going too well. Or quickened and landed out on his head and slithered over. So yeah, I'm going to chance him to sort of put that wrong right and take this one out.
Right. Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right. Well, Tom Scudamore, the reason why I'm smiling, and because you're going to dig me out throughout now, the biggest dog of all, Pete Scudamore. But if Tom wins this race, he becomes the winning most jockey of all time in this race.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's won 3. He's currently level with Willie Robinson.
What's that cloth cap?
Madison de Burley.
Madison de Burley.
No. Willie was on Mandarin. Very good. Millhouse. Ooh, what
yeah.
a horse.
That was when he beat
Mandarin,
Arkle.
Mandarin, one of the greatest. And Millhouse and Man of the West in the 60s. So a
Arkle
bit of
slipped
history
then.
we could see here.
Arkle slipped, didn't he? That's what they said.
Again,
remember that?
Hard to remember that. Yeah. How much do you...
And Mandarin, what about when the
was Scoo's other
bridle
winner
broke?
then?
Fred Winter wrestled him round in the Grand
So
Prix.
Mark Prescott,
Yeah.
we were asked for the greatest ever races in the summer, do you remember? And lots of people were going for, Enable winning a third, King George, all that sort of stuff. And Sir Mark went for Mandarin.
Well, you imagine weaving
Fred
round
Winter.
that track where it switches back
Unreal.
and forth, no bridle,
Unreal.
no,
It's
you know.
great. That's why
yeah.
everyone loves Sir Mark, and it's just out of the box thinking, brilliant stuff.
Fred
all
Winter
right.
though that day.
So if you're on
was
Jericho
Scoo's other
Rock,
winner?
a bit of history could be coming your way. Fred Winter, sorry.
What was Tom Scoo's other winner? Madison de Burley, cloth cap.
Madison de Burley, cloth cap. What was Tom's other winner?
Must have been a pipey horse.
Look, you were caught googling then.
I'm not so sure about the pipe. Formula One.
I think Pipey's got his horses going well.
I don't think all of them are finishing the races.
Ooh.
We'll see what happens here. But
You've obviously backed one and you saw about it. Let's... Sizing Tennessee helped us out there for the Tizzards, because you're thinking
Tizzards.
pipe, aren't you?
And the pots, wasn't it?
I was on one that year, and it was a horrible ground that year, and was it Native River that year? No, we couldn't. Native River's on this, isn't it? Of course. He just went clear Sizing Tennessee.
Yeah, he did.
I can't remember.
he's very strong here, the favourite, Limonos, for Dan Skelton. He's 5 to 1. Very strong in the
No
Betfair
one
Exchange.
tipped him on this panel, have they? I haven't given mine yet. I will do after I do some reactions to the tips that were coming up. Let's get it back in. Let's get excited about this, guys. It is a brilliant race, this. Am I 3 under through 5 and Fanny and D'Estraval's way? If Fanny and D'Estraval wins, I can see him winning. Tom Siegel, very keen on this chap.
If he stays, I can see him winning.
If
That's what he said.
If he stays, I can see him winning.
You said if he wins, I can see him winning.
All right, okay. It's been a long day. All right, we've actually been in the
Cheers,
studio.
Poste. He's
a
had
long
a pop
time,
at me
all right?
all day with my jambon, Timmy Murphy.
I'll go to the bar while these two just keep laughing away. All right, sorry, am I? That's right, of course. If he stays, you can see him winning, of course. I was going to talk about him, actually, but we've moved on. And I will get to him in a second.
3 under through 5.
3 under through 5 is a decent each-way bet, says Will. Sam Caney. Come on, Lord Accord. Second, of course, to Frodon. Interesting.
And well in
interesting.
as well at the weights.
Yeah, okay, we'll get to that, Sam. Interesting. He's a good horse, Lord Accord. I'll go with that. Bustleton to lead all the way, says Toon 2020. Good to have you back on with us, Toon. Are you on track today, Toon? Neil Francis, one of our favourites, comes on and said, had a little on Bustleton as well, weighing in with Batchy. All right, I've got 2 here, but I will talk about Fanny and D'Estraval first, if you don't mind. Classy animal, isn't he? Can you win first time up? Lucy Turner, what do we know about her?
So she's been a part of the Venetia team for quite a long time, ridden quite a few winners, I think point to point in as well as under rules. So I think she's a very able rider, you know, as in if this horse is a strong enough stay. I mean, he's really interesting, isn't it?
Well, he took on Allaho, didn't he? Of course, at the Cheltenham Festival. That didn't go so well, but his third to Fakir Duderi is probably what Tom's basing on. Look, he's a Grade 1 placed horse. He's top weight in this, of course. And Lucy takes off the weight, which is probably a shrewd move.
Yeah, it definitely is,
Yeah. All right, and a
Venetia's-
massive ride for her. We wish her well.
And Venetia started to hit form, hasn't she?
And he hit his peak ever figure when winning at this meeting in the 2 mile 4 handicap on the Friday. Right, Gamble, that was. Charlie Deutsch, it was eyeing for about 5 out, wasn't he? But he's taken on different calibre of horse. Can he do it? He's interesting.
3 under through 5. Can he jump in, hold up to a race like this?
I like him. You're almost doing this to bait me and everyone out there.
Quite
I
a big
know.
race last time I was on, wasn't he? 3 under.
Yeah,
big race.
Weatherby, yeah. I mean, he's
You
got the right
backed him when he
profile.
couldn't have possibly won.
Probably, yeah.
He's got the right profile, hasn't he? Second
Putting
season
on
novice.
the pieces. I'm doing this. These are pieces. Now, this makes me interested because I've spoken to Paul and I've spoken to Max, his owner, about this chap. And you asked him about head carriage. It's one of the most famous head carriages in jump racing. You know, because despite he's a really prolific horse. What is he in his career today? I remember going into that Weatherby hurdle. He has a great record over hurdles. He's 6 from 4 over both hurdles and fences, and he's won a bumper. You know,
How can he be 6 from 4?
4 from 6.
Oh my dear. Oh dear.
And then picking up on it. Everyone else is
This is
doing it as
absolutely
well.
incredible. He's 6 wins from 4
I've started
starts.
going. I've started going. It's too long. I've been doing this show too long.
He's the next coming, surely. Forget Constitution Hill.
Get a lot on those.
6 from 4. Factually, he can't be. But they're putting on the pieces.
Yeah.
Adrian Heskin's on. Now, the pieces.
He's putting on the
These
pieces.
are cheap pieces.
Dave thinks he'll come there
Well, look,
on
do
the
this.
snaffle.
Do this, right? You can't see anything either side, right? That's why they're pieces, right?
Yeah.
So it's to make him concentrate.
Yeah.
Will it improve his head carriage? But you ask them about head carriage, you say, well, that's just his way of running. He's green. But the fact that they're going for it here in this biggest acid test to date, that means they think it will improve.
I think he's got enough ability to take this race out off a 151, and he is maybe not the most recent run-ins, but he is the profile, isn't he? Second season novice
You're
coming into
stealing
it
words out my
that
mouth.
has the profile to go
So if he
on
wins
to
this,
be
he's
a
7 from 4, is he?
graded chase, or 5. But my concern, like when you said about the greenness
Don't
and the
swear on this,
immaturity, is he ready for a field of this magnitude and a race of this competitive nature?
Surely he's going to bound him out, isn't he?
He's got with a bit middle outer.
I don't think I'm giving anything away when I'm saying Nichols wanted to run this initially. If Paul had had his way, he would have run in the National Home
Yes.
Chase, right? But the owners are very loyal to
Fiercely
Adrian,
loyal,
and
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I love
nothing
that about
about
him. Max McNeil is a great guy to be involved around, in and around. One of our big sponsors, loves the game, trainers all around the place, and he absolutely loves it. He'll be there today, and this will mean so much to him. And 3 under through 5, it's named after his dad was a professional golfer, basically, and he was 3 under through 5 going down the Open one year.
Yeah.
And Adrian Heskin is on. They'll bound him out, surely. He's going to stay. I just can't work out why he's such a big price. That slightly worries me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm because, like you say, his profile suggests, and the prep run at Weatherby was fine, wasn't it?
It was fine, because he's just not a hurdler, is he, anymore? You know.
Well, no. And,
Even though he's 6
with
foot
the
4
greatest
of them.
respect in the world,
Not a very good
Oscar
chaser.
Elite, who's still a
You
maiden.
don't like him.
I'm not. I
Something
just,
about his jumping.
I just think this
Oscar Elite's
really
the other one.
tested
But he's a
him.
maiden still over fences, and
which is-
he finished behind him at Weatherby, and yet he's shorter in the betting than him.
But it's the weight pull, and if Tom Park again yesterday, I know he got Washington totally wrong. We got First Street right, by the way, guys. But this is his nap. He's been all in on this from all sorts of. This has been the anti-post gamble at Oscar Elite of the race. And if he goes to his third on the Ultimate, when Harry Cobden was on, he went through the car park, we said yesterday, on What a Shout, and he went wide all the way, and he's still swinging, turning in. He gets a big weight differential now from Corrit Rambler.
Yeah.
So he has to be in front of him in the betting, I think. But he is a maiden still. And if you go back to their novice season, he was upsides 3 under through 5 before he spilled 3 out. He looked like he was going to go and beat him that day, and he probably didn't recover from that fall, I don't think, quite. There's a big one in him. It's just, can you break your maiden in this race? I mean,
Well, it's interesting, isn't it?
the trends guys would immediately put a line through him for that.
Just looking at this, as we said, 3 under through 5 is going to be popped out, but middle outer to probably because of inexperience. Like Adrian Heskin's going to try and get some room, let him see the fences. The big advantage you have with doing that at Newbury in this race is it's all in a straight line through like the first 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah.
So he can kind of get him out, no loss of ground by staying wide, get him jumping, then tack in by the end of the back straight.
There you go. And I'm looking at, so look, they're right up in a line. You can see Corrat's going to be out
The
back.
only one.
It'd be very
The
fast.
only one
It'd be
that doesn't
very
want any of
fast
it.
over the first 2, and then everyone
Is
get
it?
position.
Is that what it is? They
first
trap.
2 or 3, get position, and then it.
This is
Bustleton's
so
very strong
exciting.
here. 12's and a 9.6 just before the off.
Bustleton. So is he going to go off Fav?
That is 9.4.
Oh, right, no.
JJ Slevin's going to pop him out down the inside.
We knew he was going to be up there. Lord of Cord's going to be up there. And Sam's going to be up there. Could he come back? He went for a gallop on the Tuesday when they went there. Lost in translations of it. Keeping widest of all is Fanny and Destraval. Very interesting horse. Diablo de Rouet for Nicky Anderson. Could see Jack Tudor getting a ride for Nicky. 300 through 5's wide as well. Look at this, Batch. Lemilos is out there as well. Where would you want to be here, Batch?
Oh,
They're lining up.
I would want to be where JJ Slevin is.
Right on the rail.
Yeah.
Get him up and get him out.
Yeah.
All right, okay. This is going to be fierce and fun. Good luck whichever way you play. It is the Coral Gold Cup. It is the old Hennessy's, the Maccas and not the Maccas, the old Benson Edges, whatever you want to call it. It's the 305 at Newbury, and it's 3 miles and just about 2 furlongs of absolute fun and furious. Let's get this underway. Mark, any late cues coming up as they jump?
Yeah, just Bustleton. That's the late mover here, 9.4.
He's not going to let
Is
it
he
go.
letting go here, Posty?
No.
What was wrong with that? We always say that. Do we say that every time when there's a full stop? What was wrong with that?
Yes, often.
Yes, often. All right, so it's now a standing start,
Which is a real nightmare.
Tom
Absolute.
Scudamore has
I
been
thought they had 2
hampered
times, 2
badly
chances.
by
I thought
standing
they
starts
did,
for.
yeah.
He hates them. I'm not saying anyone likes them, but Tom has had some real fancied horses hampered by just full starts. Lamilo's first one's to take a turn.
Don't see why they can't just go back and have a second attempt at
They
you're
should
on the
do. You're allowed to, aren't you? Now?
I'll tell you what, if you're on the Fav, you think is Harry Skelton going to go past Slough, basically?
I would imagine what you're going to see him do is line up wide and then slot over.
Right.
They're having another crack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously a standing start, they're all going to have to be in a line anyway, aren't they? So, as you were, basically. Potterman, of course, in here for Alan King. Garrico Rocker reminded that Keith Melrose, when Tom Siegel was having a break, Keith took over. And he put up Garrico Rocker and he put up
that's not
Milos.
happened, and now we will get a standing start.
That's it, yeah.
It was always going to be a standing start, lads. It always is, isn't it? They never get... Does that second start ever work as well?
Well, they don't send them back.
We need
far
someone
enough,
to
it
record
seems
these.
like, you know, as in.
Hey, Charlie's in and out. They should go further back and just so they're starting the race a whole again and take further.
Why were standing starts designed? Because it was a nightmare getting them
It
to
was
line
a
up. wasn't it?
punishment, yeah, to like.
We don't like them. Red Happy, of course. I'm going through some of the runners that we've not mentioned. It'd be a big surprise.
shot.
Didn't you put him up in the Southern National? Southern National.
That's the what?
The Southern National.
What?
Joan Bone. Oh, hang on a minute. Another
There we
full
go, we're
start.
away,
There
there
we
we
go.
go.
Said,
Yeah.
unbelievable scenes.
What's that, the
All right.
Lost
Lost in
in
translation.
translation, Mr. King.
I feel so sorry for these horses that have to do this, but lost in translation, Freddie Gingell has thankfully got him into a rhythm.
Oh,
Just about
Eskin's
right.
off!
What's who's gone?
Oh,
305.
Eskin made a mistake. There you go.
305 has gone. You called it. You were worried
Not
about his
man
jumping
enough,
back. He's
yeah.
gone at the
Not man
far.
enough.
Was it an unseat, guys?
Yeah. But he made a mistake.
3 under through 5. Drama at the very first fence. My big hit. I tell you what, Fanny and Destriel did not like that start either. He's right at the back.
Speed guns, right.
Jack Tudor on Diablo de Rue. He's at the back as well. Korak has exactly what Lucinda said. Look at his head looking around. He's looking for the ambulances. He's not making a great shape over the fences. Don't worry, she said. That's just him. Red Happy at the back. Lamilos right wide outside. Seemingly they like that route with Oscar Elite guys as well, don't they? Who's a little bit further back than I would expect. Tom Scudamore's got Gerrico Rock. History making. Tom Scudamore got Gerrico Rock in about 4th position. And Sam has got a share of the lead with Bustleton. We thought this would happen. Sam Caney's all over Lord Accord. You'll be happy, Sam, with his position. Fiddler on the roof, ideal. Remastered on the inside. Potterman in the midfield. Let's have a look back. Lost in translation. Gerrico and Ron right out the back. Fanian, we're not going to find out if he stays today, I don't think. Let's get an in-running social, shall we? Hugh Masson, Fanian, robbed from the start. Again, it's unsatisfactory stuff, guys, isn't it? But we are now going on after a couple of fences. Marc Hryhorskyj, before the lads tell us what they'd like to be on.
Yeah, Lamilos, I mean, it's currently 7-2 and running here. Favourite for Dan Skelton. It's a bit of a shambles at the start, wasn't it? It's probably about 5 or 6 and I've got no chance now.
That's what you get with the standing starts, though.
And 3 under through 5 continues riderless, guys. Right up in a share of it as well, causing a bit of mayhem.
Serious tempo on here.
Serious. They need one of these needs to take a pull now and just.
If you're on,
hopefully
Bustleton,
JJ's just gonna.
Is this a lead at all costs sort of instructions?
Yeah, but that is. Yeah, but sometimes you've got to use your brain.
And Sam is pretty one-dimensional, though. He always goes hard and forward. I mean, if Bustleton's going with him and they're setting furious fractions here, 3 under through 5, getting out of the way.
Splitting them basically, but I don't know whether this is helping them at all. But this is going to, guys, basically take a lot of horses out of their comfort zones.
And that's where it's quite an interesting thing, because you think they're going too quick, but they also break the hearts of a few of the ones.
This horse in front is not. This loose horse not going to help these.
He's jumping right across the fences, 3 under through 5, not doing Ansam any favours. But what we do know, and what we see every Saturday in and out, is that front runners tend to stay up there. Has he just run through the wing as well?
Yeah.
He has as well. Let's hope he's all right 3 under through 5 and they get him. Poor old Adrian Esker's probably wondering what on earth he's done wrong. Okay, let's. You've got to be happy, Poste, with remastered 6.
Yeah, he's got into a good slot, and it's one of those, again, there's actually loads of room down the inner, which you know, people sort of negate it for that reason, and sometimes they all sort of shun it. David Noonan's got a lovely pocket down there as they run down to the water.
He's got a beautiful sight, hasn't he? In contrast to Harry Compton's right on the outside. Lamilos is in a great position as well. Batch, if you could repeat the 2011 now, are you still on Bustleton?
Yeah, they've steadied it up a little bit and... they're travelling okay. I'd still be on Bustleton at the minute.
Who clings to the inside and probably, no, he's just going to be headed, going off into the famous far side. Look at all the cars on the inside. I bet it's an absolute right old rocking atmosphere at both Newcastle and Newbury today. Great to see, isn't it? As Bustleton goes out. Lord Accord got the box seat at the moment. Last year's second, Fiddler on the Roof, is in fourth. Gerrico Rock continues to catch my eye, guys, in those Professor Tyndall colours. This would be some plan off here. He was not so good behind Remastered, was it, Aintree? But it was all about coming here. Okay, Red Happy's there. Oscar Elite doesn't look that happy, Posty, does he? He's sort of losing his pitch a tad.
A little bit. He's trapped quite wide, and like you say, just sort of on and off the bridle. Like you say, lost.
It's catching. It's catching.
It's infectious. This is Harry Skelton seems to be in a real comfortable slot, as does Tom Scudamore, just tracking Bustleton through.
And Marc Hryhorskyj, I can see you looking studious because you're thinking, can possibly Fred Gingell get lost in translation involved?
I think Lucinda's Corrit Rambler. I mean, he could collapse.
Well,
here.
exactly. Corrit Rambler's further behind.
This one stays all day.
Going to have a say in a minute.
The loose horse is basically avoiding every fence and then joining in again for some fun, 3 under through 5.
Dave Noonan's been really brave down the inside. Keeps getting good jumps out of Remaster to keep him in there.
Oh, look, he's sensing the victory as Posty. The tipping trophy still stays in front of him, but at the moment it's Answer. This is 6 out, guys. We're coming to this blinding. Oh, was it 6 out or was that 7 out? We're about to find out. I couldn't tell on the camera angle they're showing us here. That might have been 7 out, actually. I'm not sure. We're going into the bend now.
No, 6 out, running down to 5 out.
5 out. This is where the Hennessy, the Coral Gold Cup, now comes alive. And all of a sudden on the outside, you can see Harry Compton thinking, I've got to get this. Lord Accord's gone. Sorry, Sam Caney. 1 run, 2's many for him, I think, so far this season. Fiddler on the Roof out the back. Diablo out the back. Corrit Rambler's not picked up a leg, has he? Gerrico Rock on the inside, but still Ansam. This is the fence, guys. And Ansam wasn't great there. Remastered, absolutely winged it.
Yeah.
Absolutely winged. Could he get the redemption for last year's fall? It was the next fence last year where he went. just on the
Ooh,
inside.
JJ.
David Pipe going to be getting very excited. Lamilos, the favourite, is there as well. Oscar Elite trying to come back. Red Happy running an absolute blinder. Now Correct Rambler's starting to get going. Surely too late. Here we go then. 4 out, guys.
Correct Rambler's picking up very quick.
He's absolutely flying. This
he's
couldn't
flying,
be the ultimate winner coming through, could it? This is what Lucinda said would happen. This is like one for Arthur, isn't it? OK, they're tying up front
Don't need to
slightly. Luthor still causing a few problems. All of a sudden, Bustleton's still there. Remastered maybe just a little bit slow. Lamilos leads.
Down to the
Carnage
ditch.
still. Where's Correct Rambler, guys?
Down the inside.
He's surely left it too late. At the moment,
You have to do a lot of galloping
this
to
is
get
Keith
there.
Melrose will be screaming at the pin. This is a price-wise anti-bow selection in front. It's the big race
Dave
favourite.
Pipe 1-2
Look
coming
at,
through.
come on,
Go.
Remastered. Can
Come on,
you possibly
Remastered.
do this? We'd love to see this when Lamilos is floundering all of a sudden. It's going to be on the last. Has he saved
Noonan
a bit?
hasn't gone for him
Correct
yet.
Rambler is still coming. Garrico Rock on the inside. Great lead for Lamilos when he needed it most. This is the long.
Come on,
race
Remastered.
running. Can he possibly do it, Dave?
Come on,
you
Noonan.
get him. Lamilos is
Come on,
floundering. It's
Davey.
going to be an unbelievable finish.
Come on, Davey.
Garrico Rock in third. The loose horse is probably helping
Shirty
Lamilos.
Quarry.
He goes
Shirty
away again at the end.
Quarry.
Lamilos Gamble landed. Everyone will be shouting. We got
Goodness,
excited
Harry.
there. What a finish.
Well done, Harry.
Remastered second last year. Garrico Rock in third. And Correct Rambler from the clouds. What a run that was. If you're thinking about Grand National, we'll get a quote after that. Marc Hryhorskyj. Let me draw a breath.
Yeah, good winner. Very, very game there. Went as big as 8-1 and running there for over £1,000 being matched there. BSP 6.2. The second remastered, you'd imagine that one's probably went quite short. That's went as low as 1.61 for decent money. Correct Rambler's run a big race. Came from the clouds. You looked at one stage, that's went as low as 2-1 and running there.
You'd
3
be
out.
hard pressed to think that's not going to be very, very well fancied now for the Grand National, wouldn't you? That has run an absolute belting trial for the Grand National. No?
Yeah, it has, yeah.
Lamilos, though, Dan Skelton, Harry Skelton, another big race Saturday for them. It was the Betfair Chase last weekend. They've now gone and taken out the Coral Gold Cup. Oh, Poste remastered as well.
He ran a cracker, yeah.
So
Yeah.
well, hasn't he? Probably
He
wasn't
did.
as soft as he absolutely would have
No,
wanted.
and-
Bustleton's run well back as well.
Massive race.
He has run well, and they have gone lickety split quite early. Poste, he might have just.
Very much, yeah.
I think that towards the end has just caught him out.
Him and Wedgie have gone hammer.
Do you know
and
what? I
tongs.
think Harry has got to thank the loose horse here, because the loose horse has
Yeah.
come round the bend, causing Harry's horse to come across remastered, but he's got the loose horse to blame, and he's half put off remastered a little bit, which has helped him.
Yeah.
We'll see the head on, yeah.
Yeah.
And Sam in sixth for those of you that had all the places going down. I saw, so the front runners have gone fifth and sixth. But look at your old mate there, mate.
Yeah, no,
There's going to be some bulging temples tonight, aren't there? I think. I'd imagine. He doesn't. His head looks like it's about to explode all the time, Dad, doesn't it? But what we love to see with the two big races we've had so far, the biggest race of the day. Nico de Boinville, giving it one of them on Constitution, and Harry always make sure.
Animated,
I've
yeah.
always said it. Jockeys need to celebrate. I think people that are coming into the sport, they want to see jockeys celebrating like footballers. You know, we don't do it
They
enough.
have it off every weekend, don't they, really?
Yeah. These guys do.
Decked her out, yeah, every weekend.
And he's a horse that joined from Tim Vaughan, isn't he? And where do we go with this? I mean, let's have a look at his profile.
They're going
He
to worry
deserves
about it.
Yeah,
No, come
not
on.
in a minute.
I want to know. He's a 7-year-old. He's 146. He's going to be going up in the 150s now. What was he actually? Because he was a £4 penalty. I'll tell you what, horses under a penalty don't often win this. He was already 150.
Yeah.
155. The thing is, when you win a race like this, are you a Bobsworth? Are you a Travolgan? Are you a, are you...
I don't think he's a Gold Cup horse.
No.
All them horses you just mentioned, I don't think he's not one of them. He's
Fine.
He did look vulnerable.
He's
at
no
the last-
Demon,
Where do
he's
we
no
go with
Bobs.
him then?
Well, I mean, I suppose. I mean,
Probably
Grand National,
Grand National, isn't it?
potentially. I mean, it depends how important they think slow ground is to him. I mean, you got the Grand National trial at Haydock. I mean, could he take a Welsh national out of 1-5?
Well, you think about Welsh
National.
National. It comes soon enough after a battle like that, though, doesn't it? And he's had to dig deep.
Native River did it previously, didn't he?
He was just a monster.
Yeah.
freak,
What's that, a
wasn't he?
month, is it, to the Welsh? About a month?
We should
Yeah.
ask the man who's won it.
Yeah, it is about that. Yeah,
I think Lucinda's runners run a massive race. Correct Rambler.
yeah, huge.
Feed him up
from the
there.
clouds.
20-1, I'm hearing on the sportsbook for the Grand National Lamilos, the winner. I'd be very interested to hear Correct Rambler's price.
Let's have a look.
Very interested indeed. If you'd have probably heard that interview I did with Lucinda Russell, all roads lead to the Many Clouds chase next week. for Oi Senor, who loves Aintree, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Loves it, and they'll be wanting more rain up there for him. So I think they'll be slightly disappointed that he didn't tag on to them earlier. He just couldn't, could he, on the far side?
No, I mean...
What is it about her and having horses like this? I mean, Oi Senor almost bucks the trend. You know, it just reminds me of one for Arthur, this horse.
He does,
How he's just, you know, you think he's beaten.
And as a jumper, he's kind of, he's a little bit
Sketchy.
hit and miss.
Yeah.
As in...
And she said that, though. She's absolutely nailed what he would do.
But that's him. He is hit and miss. But at the end of the day, he gets from A to B.
He does. Yeah.
And he's...
You
and
caught 3 under through 5, didn't you?
Yeah,
That was his first jump outside a novice company, obviously. Yeah, over a
they
fence.
start so quick in that race. So you have to be so on the ball.
And dare I go back to the start?
It was bad.
People are raging out there about Fanny Dessel. Price-wise pick would have been popular.
Lost in
Kanisha won the
translation,
race last year.
At the start as well. Lee,
Lost in translation.
25s for the big one at Aintree, and Corrit Ramblers 18s in places, 20-1 best.
They're horrible starts, but there's only a certain
project,
amount of
isn't it?
horses went from a standing start are quick to go. They just some can do it, some can't, and that's.
I think we've seen the national winner today.
You do.
I do.
In first or fourth?
Definitely in fourth.
It's bullish, isn't it? 25s.
The battle may
You got in a
last.
double with Jetbird and the Supreme,
The
Dave.
war still. No comment. No, but honestly, I think 8 to 1, 18 to 1. I would go. I would go. I think he'll start. You know, where are they going to go? He's running the classic chase already, isn't he?
28s out
And
there
one
as
for
well.
Arthur won the classic chase.
28-1 out there as well.
Is it?
I'm not being funny off that mark. You're surely just going to sit tight now. What's he, 147?
It's just perfect, isn't it?
He gets in off 10
Do you-
and low
Do
10
you do a
zones.
comply or die and wait till the weights are out and go to the Ida? He won the Ida and
Does he
then
need to
was
run over
chucked in.
fences beforehand?
Is it? Oh man, I don't really know. We'll try and find out from Lucinda. We'll probably see her over lunch coming up soon, won't we? So we shall ask her and we shall
With the
find
big
out
dog.
for you. With the big old dog. With the big dog. Pete, we love you really, man.
He was
Tom
the old
Scudamore
dog.
would have been sensing history there for a long way, wouldn't he? On Gerrico Rock, who was
I
run
don't
a
think he
blinder.
had no excuses. They had a good trip.
Run a
didn't they?
blinder.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a nice race in that, and again, that was the ultimate form, wasn't it? That we've seen coming to the fore. Oscar Elite didn't really see it out, so there we are. We've been waiting for it for weeks and weeks, and it didn't disappoint. What a day we're having! What a difference a week makes in racing world, eh? Last week we were all so despondent. What's wrong with the game? And here it is, the greatest game of all, providing on the day. Great to have you with us. We've got 2 more races left. We've got a Gold Cup contender coming up. We must now go back up for the final time to the Toon, to Newcastle for the Betfair Exchange rehearsal chase.
Yeah, obviously, the market revolves around Venetia's La Home Press here. This one was odds on Thursday evening, and the prices came out this morning. Was out to what, 5 to 2, 9 to 4 in places. Very, very weak. It's came back in. It's roughly 13 to 8, 2.68. But again, if this one is a genuine Gold Cup contender, it has to be doing the business here. Currently, 6 to 4, strengthening up now. There's 260,000 matched in the market. Into overdrive, Marc Walford is obviously interesting on a 4-timer. But what we're going to do is we're going to play one each way here. We're going to bet this one on the exchange. Winning place is one of Henry Oliver's. I quite like the big bite. I mean, this one was as big as 25 to 1 earlier in the week. It's currently trading. It was running up at least 9 to 1 in place. Now it's 21 on the Betfair Exchange right now. Stable are flying. I think this is a good each way angle here. Winning place. So we'll take the 20s to 1. We'll have 12.50 on the win. And we'll back this one in the 4-place market as well. It's currently 2.78, so roughly around 15 to 8, 7 to 4. It's the stable are absolutely flying right now, and obviously there's question marks around the favourite. It was very, very weak, strengthening up now. It's out to 2.72. I think the big bite is an each way angle here, solid.
You got a banging form jockey on your side as well. You had a great November meeting, didn't you?
Banged one of one for Brian Ellison earlier in the card as well. Obviously, just what do you make of the home press here? I mean, on form he should be an odds-on shot. I mean, he's trading at 2.64 in the Betfair Exchange.
He did go right out.
Yeah, 3.4
About
before.
midday, he was hovering around 9 to 4, wasn't he?
Yeah, and obviously that's not a great sign. People are willing to risk that sort of liability at those prices. But again, if he's going to be a genuine contender for the Gold Cup, he's got to be winning this.
I don't think you could. I thought when he was sort of
Couldn't lay him at
sub
3.4.
2.0, I thought he was a lay, but like 2.62, I think he's more. I'd be more inclined to be with him than against
Back him,
him.
yeah.
That,
It's
you
just
know.
the price, that's the thing,
Johnny
isn't it?
Burke, by the way, is on a 4-timer, won the first 3 races at Newcastle.
He's having a great
Yeah.
time of it at the minute, Johnny Burke, yeah, for sure. there's some interesting rivals against him on there. I've put up Long Press. Let's get it out of the way. I thought we're about to jump off it, guys, so we better get on with it. I thought he was too big when I saw him earlier on. 6-4 is about, I think, into Overdrive. You can see why people like it. He's getting all that weight. Batchy?
Yeah, so echoes what Marcus says, really. He's got to carry this weight if he's a true Gold Cup contender, but I do fancy him.
Yeah,
Happy-go-lucky for me.
Interesting horse, isn't he, of course. Was Aintree we last saw him, wasn't it? When it beating John B, but he's got Cheltenham form. He's a very, very popular horse. They get him back on track. He's been ready to run for quite some time.
Well, he was half quietly fancied for the big race at Cheltenham, wasn't he? And over
Ground
a trip,
too quick.
Yeah, and a trip that I'd have thought would be at the bare minimum for him.
I would imagine they're expecting something good from him today, despite the fact he's been off for 595 days. They will. I think they'll fancy their chances here. Rightly so. Dingo Dollar, who when he won that Vets race, my goodness gracious me, I think he was matched at the maximum mark, wasn't he, on the exchange at one point? He's that sort of ride, but again, he'll be staying on late for Ryan the Maniac.
If he's within hailing distance, turning
Exactly.
in, he's going to run well, isn't he?
Yeah, it's really good races. The likes of Who Shot the Sheriff
And
is a
I
classy
Right.
animal.
I Right won the race last year.
He's got
Last year's
£7
winner.
more on his back, hasn't
Yeah.
he?
Tens.
He had
He
his
deserved that last year,
He
didn't
did. He had all sorts of near misses, didn't he? And again, hugely popular horse, Right. Right,
Here we
hugely
go.
popular race. Last of the day at Market, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Again, right, it's been
Similar.
one of those days. We are Who Shot the Sheriff at the back, that's for sure. Right likes to get on with it. Happy-go-lucky, perhaps unsurprisingly. Guys, a beautiful looking horse, Happy-go-lucky. Into Overdrive, interesting. The gamble of the race, I think we can call him that. Very progressive, won at Weatherby on his way back. Dublin 4 would have finished closer had he not belted that fence. He ran well, really, at Newbury. So the form was advertised. You're going to love going back up in trip. Is he a bit keen into Overdrive?
I think he's going all right.
There was a
Right.
big pause there. Tumbleweed emoji
it's-
again.
It's too early to make
We
a
occasionally
decision.
need a
Who's
tumbleweed emoji
making a
on this
decision,
show.
Dave, and we don't think he is.
And Long Press, tell me about this chap.
He's pulling his way to
Yeah.
the front here. I mean,
Oh, he's full of himself,
Yeah,
isn't
he is, yeah.
From a pricing perspective, I mean, this one's shorter than a Plutarch for the Gold Cup. Obviously, got to see what happens here.
Ooh.
But just there's some money post betting for you.
Into Drive made a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah, the big bite wasn't great at that one as well for the goat.
He's even
Who
money
Shot
in
the
running
Sheriff at the back.
favourite. Even money in running the home press right now.
And the outside of the lot, Dallas Day Picton, who's been around the stables, he sees them all in at the moment. Dingo Dollar's going pretty well, actually, by his own standards. He absolutely snagged that one as well, the fifth. That was the fourth, sorry. 19 fences jumped in the rehearsal chase. And again, isn't it great to see Gold Cup calibre horses running in handicaps? And I think when I love what Charlie's doing here. Just let him go. And again, nothing wrong necessarily if he comes second or third here.
No, there's
Don't
not.
be afraid of not having the one next to name. Get your horses out, get them fit. We see it all the time. Horses can come right for the big day if they're ready to run.
And
Windsor
they
Avenue
probably
up
won't.
there.
They probably won't going quick enough for Charlie in the early stages because, bottom line is, he is the classiest horse in this race. So the speed they were going didn't suit him. So he
Yeah.
said, right, I'm going on. I'm going to do it my way.
And we know because of Cheltenham that he's got bundles of stamina.
he's
Who was
nearly-
that?
Favourite.
On Bresse.
Was it?
Favourite, yeah, nearly gone.
Reach for that a little bit.
The
And
curse. I missed it. It's usually Dave
He's
Orton's
still there,
curse, we
lads.
call it.
Still there.
He's still there. He's fine. This will be all important if you're on Long Press. Let's have a look up, and he goes absolutely
it.
fine there. Right then on the inside into Overdrive, his main market rival. Well, there's only around about a length between them in the race as well. Windsor Avenue's an interesting horse. He hasn't put it together at all of late, but he's talented on his day. Looking for Happy-go-lucky. He's just dropped back into
Been a bit
fifth.
rusty early
Has
on.
he?
His jumping has been there's no major alarms, but it just hasn't been perfectly fluent yet.
Are you telling me that Into Overdrive isn't keen? Because you said I'm trying to suggest he is. The jocks hate it when you say that because they're like, that's not keen, Dave. But he carted himself here, hasn't he?
He's actually, as you say it now, Jamie Hamilton's
I
hands
was
just
right all
coming
along.
up off his neck, and he maybe is over racing a fraction.
I was right.
I mean, the home press is having a race here, not getting all his own way up front.
No, definitely
The
not.
big bite's catching onto him a little
he's
bit.
going
Marc.
all right.
Yeah, he's going all right, isn't he? Just Dallas Day picked on that's
Take a
looking like
place.
he's going to struggle to finish the
Struggling,
race. I think. Who Shot the Sheriff? A horse that's got some speed about him. Does he stay? They're riding him to get the trip. And Dingo Dollar is skilled
I mean, the
still.
home press is near enough not even favourite now. They want to be into Overdrive.
There's
and
so
running on the
much
Betfair
weight
Exchange.
between them, isn't there? Let's see
2
exactly
stone,
how
isn't
many
there?
it is. Yeah,
10, 2 and 12 stone.
Yeah. The best part, 2 stone
When a horse is
between.
over racing like that, I wouldn't
Yeah.
make him favourite at this stage.
Who do you like then?
Still like
I like Long Press at the moment, yeah.
Side, yeah.
On the 6th fence coming up.
Little nod there from Into Overdrive.
Wright's not enjoying himself,
No.
is he?
He's very
On
keen
and
on
off the
fun, isn't he?
bridle.
There, I mean, look at his head swinging from side to side. He's almost getting keener as this race goes on.
That's what I mean, exactly that. Listen, next time when I say something's keen, you'll give me a nod, will you? It's been a bugbear of mine on this show over the years when I suggest something's keen. There's a severity of keenness. We were chatting about
just
this in the
for
close-up
one moment
department.
you're right. Don't kind of like run
Yeah.
with this, yeah?
I'm loving the rightness.
Yes.
The sun shines on the righteous. And it's Lom Presse leading them in then. Will we see a Gold Cup contender emerge from a handicap? It's absolutely brilliant. What a way to end a great day at Newcastle here. It's the Betfair Exchange. Rehearsal chase has been going for goodness knows how long, won by some absolute worldies. Hoping it will be Lom Presse, of course, here we are. Marc Hryhorskyj, though, you're looking at the big bite. And every time I look at him, Mark, he makes a bit of a Horlicks of offence.
Yeah, he's a 50-1 chance in running right now. La Home Press 7-4 into overdrive, 11-4 in running here.
Yeah,
You
okay.
go Lucky warming up a bit now.
Yeah, he's going very well. He's 11-4 in running here. He's
Again.
actually favourite now. La Home Press.
A lot of people
La Home
thought that-
Press is.
Oh, Deutsch's switch over there. I don't know whether Into Overdrive was taking his ground or what, but he's kind of cut across him and he had to take back and switch back round him.
I don't think there's a lot of what Jamie Hamilton can
No.
do with Into Overdrive at the
Oh.
moment. Of course, Into Overdrive did
Oh,
run over
look
2
at
mile
this,
3
come
last
on.
time. He's back
Big
up
bite,
in
made a
trip.
big
He-
mistake there.
Who did?
The big bite.
Yeah, his jumping's just not been great. Is it now Dingo Dollar hitting his customary flat spot? Who shot the Sheriffs out of his ground all of a sudden? Windsor Avenue's still there. Happy Go
quality
Lucky now
horses,
putting it
yeah.
up. Surprise, surprise, guys. Bassey putting it up to Deutschy.
Yeah, he's not seen a short stride so far.
I'll tell you, the big
What, in
bite's
his
got a
career,
chance.
or?
Big bite's going okay.
Which one?
The big bite for a
Oh, yeah,
place
come on,
got a
Mark,
chance.
get your eyes off it,
Yeah,
man. Get your
yeah,
eyes
come
off it.
on.
Onto the race,
Come on,
mate.
Mark, let's get on the
2-10,
game,
all of a
please.
sudden, it looks like Into Overdrive is
Have
finding this
have
a bit
another
hot,
blueberry.
but paying for that keenness. We'll have a pop in the last race, Mark. Don't worry. Now, this is going to be great, guys. Here we
Go
are.
on,
We're
Deutschy!
forward up, and Deutschy, the class angle
Oh,
of Lom
look at
Presse coming
this.
to it. Happy Go Lucky. We haven't seen him for so many days. He's still in there. It's the only danger, unless Into Overdrive can somehow rally. Windsor Avenue, best of the rest. 3 out. Lom
Oh,
Presse, big and
beautiful.
bold. Absolutely lovely. Just sit
Oh,
there,
he's
Deutschy.
had a look
Come on,
around.
he's had a look. He
Deutschy,
loves the
don't
look.
look around.
Don't look around,
Might
Deutschy,
have been a
keep
bit
going.
premature here. David Bass still fancies chances.
Overdrive
Into
right now.
Overdrive
He's
coming
amazing.
back. It was that injection of pace that caught out Into Overdrive. Now where's the weight going to get Lom Presse? He is a classy model.
Come on,
win, lose, or
Deutschy.
draw. 1 to go in the rehearsal chase. Does the class go? Go, Bubba.
Go on,
He's
Deutschy.
absolutely over and gone. Into Overdrive doing his best. What a race. The market
Oh,
is
look at this.
absolutely spot on.
Excellent
This is
performance.
a Gold Cup
Consummate
class performance.
ease for the Deutsch.
Absolutely superb. We didn't see Constitution in at Ascot. We didn't see Lom Presse at Ascot. Newcastle has them both. One's next to their names. They're the headline makers on what has been a brilliant Saturday so far for the game here on Racing Post Live. What did the Betfair Exchange make of it?
Yeah, BSP 2.5, industry price 6-4. Made it look pretty easy in the end. I think Into Overdrive's run a strange race running on. Very, very keen for about 2 miles and ran on again. Ran a really strange race, but yeah, solid winner, La Home Press. We'll see what happens with the Gold Cup betting now. But looked pretty straightforward, didn't it?
I imagine his Gold Cup price will probably just solidify, don't
15
you?
to 2, 8 to 1, around
That's
that price.
kind of what he was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I just think it's all as well. If he gets to the Gold Cup, he's the Brown Advisory winner, of course.
Had to carry a,
You could see him being a bit shorter,
carry a
obviously.
lot of weight there, of 164.
It's a great weight carrying
And
performance.
it
that is.
just shows you, doesn't it? We were robbed of Edwardstone doing it in a 2 mile handicap as well at Ascot last week. We need to see more of this. And Venetia with Royal Pagoi last season as well, it's not afraid of doing it. We knew it was going to be a fairly light campaign for Lom Presse anyway. Argento for him next?
Yeah, that probably makes sense.
Whatever it's called these days.
Pillar chase.
The Pillar Chase, yeah. That's at the trials meeting,
Yeah,
isn't it?
January, yeah.
A lot of people don't like leaving it behind in that race, of course.
Yeah.
You remember the great tussle that Thistlecrack and Many Clouds had in that? It's a
Aeon,
grueler.
Newbury.
The Aeon at Newbury, the Denman Chase.
Denman
That's a very good shout. What would he meet up against in that potentially? Of course, we're waiting for the Irish great Gold Cup chases to come out. Of course, we've got the Lexus, haven't we, and all that sort of stuff coming up.
Do you know that there? I think Charlie, when he was looking around, I think he was very confident, or I think he was maybe stopping. What do you think there?
I think he was probably hoping that he could have as easy a time of it as possible, if you know what I mean. And that he didn't really want to kind of extend the horse and go from if he didn't have to.
He
Empty
loves
the
the look
tank, yeah.
behind him, Deutschy, doesn't he?
Don't want to empty the tank.
It was good risk at all before he got into the home straight over that handicap at Ascot last season. He looked behind him. And it's like, way to give away what you've got under your bonnet.
Shorting
Charlie.
up 6-1 in places now for the Gold Cup, the Home Press.
He strikes me as a seriously funny character, Deutschy.
Yeah.
Is he?
He's so
nice.
I've been lucky enough to have him watch out, and he's got a good sense of humour.
Yeah.
He's just so polite.
He's got a very dry sense of humour. He's a very... Do you know when someone says you all have to be kept, who acts the fool? He acts the fool, but he's not, is he?
No,
he's a shrewdy old... He's good old
He's
budgie.
obviously he's been a bumpy old ride,
Been a-
Charlie, hasn't
yeah.
he?
Yeah.
It's been a bumpy old ride. There's a couple. If ever you see Mattie Batchelor at a bar at a racecourse, ask him to tell him about the day he saw Charlie Deutsch before a certain appearance before a judge. It's an absolute belter. But it's not for this one. We'll do it in the Thursday bet after our last race coming up at Newbury. And it's been great to have you with us this afternoon, guys. The numbers have been fantastic watching. Everyone's feeling good right now. Come on, aren't we? Surely. And Ponty Terrier says, what a horse. I assume you mean long press. Yes, indeed. Will says, nice reappearance run from Happy Go Lucky.
Very much so, yeah. As in, like I say, I think the jumping lacked a bit of fluency and was a little rusty initially. He warmed up really well, probably just missed a couple of fences up the straight at the wrong moment. I don't think he's lost anything in defeat. I mean, again, off 1-5-1. He might be a slightly tricky horse to place because he could end up a bit of a twilight horse that he's not well enough in to go and take a big handicap out, but whether he can quite make up into graded company. I'd have thought being a son of Jeremy as well, maybe some slower ground might be even better.
And Mark, you haven't had your big price one yet. You've got the last race coming up at Newbury to have a stab at, but your extended family, the Angus family, you often say this, Mark the goat.
The goat.
It's where it came from, this really, isn't it?
Yeah,
the
I like
goat.
that. Yeah, but
The greatest of all time.
On to that last race. What do you think the handicapper will do with the second into overdrive?
Well, he's going to whack him up.
Yeah.
Again, he's still going forward, isn't he? Because he
got
was keen
138.
as you like through that race, and he hit a flat spot. That's the difference of class of horses, isn't it?
He's gonna be
when
one
Happy
forward,
Go Lucky and Long Press Kick, he couldn't handle it. That's the class step up.
Yeah, of course
And he
it
was
is, yeah,
coming
yeah.
back at the finish. That's a big, big run for Mark Wolford's horse. I'd love to see him in a classic chase or something like that at Warwick. He'd be in a great sight in that, wouldn't he? Maybe the Ida even. Something like that for him.
The worry about the Ida is he going to see it out racing
well,
like
I don't remember him being that keen before. I might be wrong.
Maybe they might ride him differently next time.
And drop him in a bit more.
Yeah.
Could we see now Le Hompresse take on Brave Man's Game in the Pillar or the Aeon?
Who?
Brave Man's Game.
What's who?
Le Hompresse.
It's been tickling me today. Jambon it started with, didn't it? Le Hompresse for Batch. I never, honestly. Are you one of these guys that when you go into a French restaurant you morph into a Parisian?
Oui.
Gosh. Champion Hurdle live poll, we asked you earlier after Constitutions. What was the length, by the way? Did we get that? I haven't seen that. You haven't studied it enough. Have we got an RPR out there yet, guys, as well? The Champion Hurdle, 77%. The order being restored here after Charlie Poste got very excited about Honeysuckle's chance at 4-1. 77% think he will wrestle it off the Suckle.
12 lengths winning
12
distance.
lengths. easy.
12 lengths.
Yeah.
Oh, we went for 8, didn't we?
And away from
Maydor,
32.
quick and clear after 3 out.
Have we
Impressive.
got a Recipe Post rating on it yet?
Nope.
I can see
teasing us with it.
169. I can see RPR.
169.
Yeah, that's what I can see
Yeah.
here. Where's the bust?
He's not happy with that. He's going to...
I'm not happy with
Someone's
that.
getting the sack.
I'm not happy with that. Oh, that's a 170 performance that today, isn't it? It is appraisal season, so the handicappers lot will be holding before the Melrose
Over the
judge,
coals.
the quizmaster, who's a taskmaster, right? Or Stateman, who could still be a player, couldn't he? In the Morgiana, Tom Siegel suggested that he's no back marker at all. We know he loves Cheltenham as well. Just visually, I think. I don't know. What did we make a statement?
He got the job done, didn't he?
Workmanlike.
Yeah.
But he beat two-time winner of the race, Sharjah, made him look like he was, on the downgraded test.
It
It
just-
could be that Sharjah's run absolutely, to
But
his
it
race.
just lacked a bit of wow factor, didn't it? But, as in that we got today. But sometimes there's nothing on with just getting the job done, is there?
I didn't know whether he would. I didn't know what they would do.
Interesting comments about Vauban, wasn't there?
What you think we?
Whether he was almost saying that he wasn't sure if he was champion hurdle horse this year and whatever else.
It's all got a bit quiet on the Vauban front, hasn't it?
Stateman's 4-1 in places for the champion, same price as Honeysuckle.
mad.
That's madness. Yeah. I would have it. I'd have it probably. I'd go slightly odds on.
4-5,
On
maybe
Constitution.
5-4 Honeysuckle.
I'd go slightly odds on Constitution. I definitely would have. I wouldn't have the Suckle any bigger than threes. Threes.
All right, I'll take that.
You'll take that.
I'll take
the
threes,
threes.
yeah.
You're going to try and burgle that off me
I'll
each way.
take threes, yeah. Like a
And
bit
I
of
would have
threes.
Stateman.
I'm
I'd have Stateman
yeah.
about 7-8 to 1.
Plus
I think you still got that much to find. with
10s,
the
12s,
big
I'd
two.
say.
That is the best forecast since Constitution Hill and Eberton.
You get the honeysuckle Constitution forecast.
5 to
All right,
1.
we'll have you in for
5
that,
to
Dave.
100 circling places now.
Well,
as
anyway, 77% of you. Thanks for doing those polls out there today, guys. We had the how far, didn't we? It's great fun for us, and we love to gauge what you're thinking out there. It's been great interaction today. We're having great fun, and we've got one more chance to get the glory here at Newbury in the 340, which is another well-established 2-mile handicap. He'll do to you remember winning it really well was that last season. And Hryhorskyj, a winner at the recent November meeting at Cheltenham, bids to defy a rise. Marc Hryhorskyj.
Yeah, 6 to 4. I think Luke's the one to beat here. It was a solid reappearance run at Cheltenham 2 weeks ago. Course and distance winner. This looks a weaker race than last time out for me. I think this one makes all. It's 2.52 on the Betfair Exchange with a £25 win to knock out £38 to wrap up the day.
Okay, all right. Which one, sorry?
Favourite.
You're on the fav?
Yeah, listen, I think it was a good run last
I'll
time
tell you
out.
what, if you
Cheltenham.
back the fav, you're thinking to yourself, I don't like that, because there's Sod's Law's the biggest thing in this game.
Yeah.
Last time you were on, you were knocking them out the park left, right and centre. This has been a trickier day for you, and now you've got one to go and you're like, better go for the fav and the lucky last. You know what people will be thinking out there, oh, the goat's gone for it. Can I give you some quotes from the beaten horses in the Cold Gold Cup before we go down with the rest of the tips? Corrick Rambler. This is the one I wanted to see. We're absolutely delighted, said Lucinda.
Yeah.
She'll be going back in the camper van, happy woman. We think he's a national horse now, with the old dog. We were hoping he'd run like that, and we were cautious about the ground, but it was perfectly safe. And I asked her about it because he won his Irish point on good ground. He'll hopefully continue to improve, but the extra mile in the national, it just visually, it's just all there, isn't it? The only thing that puts me off slightly is that he might get too far back. They can do that a little bit, but work for one for Arthur. Gerico Rock, we wanted easier ground, run a great race, Welsh National. Also, the 2024 Grand National is his big target. Interesting.
He's 16s now, Corrick Rambler for the National. You want to get about that 20, still a little bit of 25s if you want to get on.
I need to get off here and go and get some of that. That's for sure. He was a lot sharper in his run at Aintree last time back remastered. We would have loved slightly different ground. We held our breath at the Force last because of what happened last year, but we're delighted with him. And these races don't come along very often. Just he's run his race basically. Yeah. So maybe go back to Haydock for the Tommy Whittle and things like that, and the Peter Marshall, whatever it is. All right. Anyway, they're the beaten horses.
What say about the Irish horse? No,
didn't get that far down. You have to make a call on that one, Batch.
I think I went too quick, too early.
I thought you did.
Very possibly. Yeah, you would say that. Yeah, why did you get into a pace duel? But again, for a 5-year-old, he's run a whopping race. You wouldn't mind seeing him coming back next year, would you, Bustleton? What do we got? Hugh Masson comes on. Hope Bundoran wells well. For your boy, Dave. Yes, Hugh Masson. Great. Yeah, of course. Bundoran is the horse that Paddy Brennan, when he won at the Open meeting, afterwards, we were on Bundoran. And we were down at the last, and my son was like a 3-year-old. He'd never seen anything like it. Absolutely loved it. And Paddy threw his goggles to Seb afterwards.
Nice.
And who's got it. Yeah, every time Seb for the next year and a bit was like, where's Paddy? Whenever we watched the screens and things like that. And Bundoran still, he won like a good thing that day. I don't think he can win this, can he? No. Hugh, a sentimental bet perhaps for you. It'd be lovely to see him. Tom George has got his horses running well. I thought Only Money was the bet here. I think he'll love this return to decent ground. He's getting weight for Hryhorskyj. I just want to see Hryhorskyj put 2 runs together. And I can't have it at the back of my mind that he was beaten fair and square in the Grand Annual. I thought the handicapper sort of had him. I thought he got the run of the race at Cheltenham as well, so I'm against the goats.
Yeah, I am.
You're with?
Hatcher.
For your mate, Dan.
Yeah, double up.
50 poke on the Betfair Exchange.
Yeah.
Oh, Hugh's backed Only Money as well, I should say as well.
I just think loves good ground. He's back down below his last winning mark. I think he was running all right there when he tipped up.
He's a character, isn't he? He's an interesting character.
Should we back this in the place?
There might be another day for this horse ahead in the future, but yeah, I quite like him.
Yeah, 4 to 1 for the free here. Should we have a wee saver on?
He's not sure.
I'm not. What, on Hatcher?
Yeah.
He wants you to back Only Money.
Well, look, it's only money, as they say.
It is only money.
It's only money, as they say. Batchy?
Only Money for me.
Yeah, 2-way play. I'm happy with that. And off we go then. A reminder that Charlie is going for the hatchet job. And he's right out the back, Hatcher. Now, this is interesting. Bundoran taking on Hryhorskyj. So not sure to have it his own way all this time. Cortland, who I thought would definitely step up on that run last time. He's a bit overpriced. Looks like he's coming for a bit of support, actually, Marc. Because Cortland, he's in 3rd at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the betting right now. Hryhorskyj is not even favourite now. Only Money, 2 to 1 favourite. Cortland 9.2. There was a bit of late money for that 9.5 BSP.
They're so educated, the in-running players out there. You know, every time I've been on with Barry, you know, I've been educated by Barry talking about the educated exchange players, and they know that when a horse has made all last time, if he gets taken on next time, immediate spike. People want to, you know, be against them. So we'll see how Hryhorskyj likes being taken on by the veteran and very fast Bundoran.
Yeah.
Monsieur Lecoq on the inside in third, Cortland there as well, and Only Money, a lovely situation there for him. And Hatcher is going to try and do them all down the home straight, Charlie Poste.
He is, yeah. I mean, he's dropped in, travelling strongly at the moment for sort of man of the moment, Harry Skelton, trying to back up the big race success from before. I mean, as it stands right now, they've all sort of found pretty good rhythm early doors. Hryhorskyj seems to be all right being taken on by Bundoran, and Monsieur Lecoq down the inside getting a good run through.
Only Money wants to go a bit faster, doesn't he, Batch? By the looks of that, he's definitely got a handful there.
Yeah, I just think he's happy to get a lead, Tommy, for this, but there's no better sight than proper 2 miles going at speed and jumping. It's just a great sight.
Can I tell you that app, RPR, has been updated on Constitution Hill, and it's more what I expected it to be.
165?
No. That was so
172.
ridiculous. No.
Higher.
175.
Higher or lower? Here we are again.
Is this person
177.
176.
Is he on anti-post?
That's going to be your RPR. 176. And now I would think that's lovely RPR. Handicappers have got it usually absolutely spot on. I think they are again. All right, Only Money now warming up into third as Cortland and Monsieur Lecoq. Definitely Monsieur Lecoq not loving life at the moment, is he? Hryhorskyj, though, still in a share with the glorious Bundoran on the inside. Batch, if you had to pick one now, still happy with Only Money? Or?
Yeah, happy as Larry.
All right, we'd like to hear that. Marc Hryhorskyj, what about yourself?
I think Hatcher, that's trading at 20s. BSP was
He
around
could he?
50s. I mean, Hryhorskyj 3.25. Only Money's odds on and running here.
He's feeling the pinch now,
Yeah, he
Hatcher.
is.
I'm not sure this would be his ground either, to be totally honest. I've always had him done a bit more of a summer horse, personally.
He loves a bit of good ground, but that's what we got. Times
I
are
don't
quick,
know.
isn't it?
That's a bit loose on top now, isn't it? I'm not sure. Yeah, well, maybe. All right, okay. So, look, we're now... Was that the cross fence?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. That was 5 out then. 4 out we're coming to. And Only Money stalking. When are they going to need a breather, these two in front? Because they've been going hammer and tongs of Bundoran and Hryhorskyj. And Hryhorskyj, if you're on the fav like Marc Hryhorskyj, you're probably thinking, aye, what are you all on about? 6 to 4 is a great price. Only Money just struggling to go to pace with them at the minute. He's going to need basically a first street to happen. Oh, Hryhorskyj was big and bold there. Bundoran on his first ride back has now cracked. Cortland mopping up a modest 4th place. Hryhorskyj 3 lengths between us. Is he to lose now, Marc?
Yeah, he just got to keep jumping. I don't think the second's beat yet.
No, he's not beat yet.
He's not beat at all. In fact, here he comes, Only Money. This is
Yeah.
Paul Keeley's other player of the day. I tell you what, there will not be any Guinness in the house if this wins. 2 out, and Hryhorskyj a little bit tight into it. And he has gone for it hard, hasn't he? He's hanging a little bit. What's it saying on the exchange, Marc?
Yeah, he's 1.13 Hryhorskyj.
he's still up.
but
He's
He's
still
got
got
yeah.
plenty. He's got funny head carriage, Posty, hasn't he? He's got
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
He
tell you
jumps
what,
the last,
this
is
is a
all over.
very
Over.
good
There we go.
performance,
Yeah.
this. This is a horse that's on the periphery now of stepping into these 2-mile graded chases. He really has run well.
Brendan,
The
not
second
too
looks
far.
around.
Not
Tom-
too far.
Not too
Not
far. Not too
Brendan,
far,
not too
Brendan.
far.
We finally got it in. Well done. The goat was not to be denied. This was a very popular pick. The Fav wins the last, and in the end, he won absolute bloodless defeat of Only Money, who eased down on the run-in. And Monsieur Lecoq it was in the end, who came through for a modest Bundoran. That will put him spot on for some fights later on in the season.
And
Marc,
I think as the way jump racing goes, I think Harry Skelton ended up on the deck there.
did he?
I feel like Hatcher came through riderless. Yeah.
Oh, did it? Oh, okay, that's not good.
The ups and downs of racing.
And of course, Brendan Powell, who took a spill there in the first
Nasty
yesterday.
fall yesterday, yeah. Great to see him back with a winner.
Yeah, and
hopefully Harry's all right.
This is a horse now quickly going the right way, isn't it?
Yeah, it was good performance. Obviously, they were going at it a long way out. The second's traded 1.61, had the box seat, no excuses for Only Money. It was trading odds on, about 3 furlongs out, 4 furlongs out. The winner has went as high as, big price, the winners went as high as 7 to 2 and running for decent money, BSP 2.3. Had every chance to chuck it, but it was game.
It wobbled a little bit, didn't he, coming to the last, which is very interesting because he's gone away again. What is under that bonnet? We're about to find out because he's going to have to go near the big league now, isn't he, I think?
I mean, again, he was a 280 grand buy a couple of years ago. And yeah, I mean, like now he's off 144 today. He's probably going to be 150, isn't he?
This is the Killer Kane colours. They're obviously big spenders, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah. I mean, they might still be.
JPR one, of course. I'm sure they probably are. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we end on a favourite then. It's been a favourite show of mine, that's for sure. Why? Because Mattie Batchelor's been with us in fine form, doing accents and everything.
Oh, oui.
Honestly, Norman
Surely it's
Wisdom.
au revoir now.
Norman
Au
Wisdom.
revoir.
Norman Wisdom doing a French film. Charlie Poste been on good form. The Nap one.
Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah.
It'll be an easy drive home. We've got me, of course, in the passenger seat. We
Yeah,
shall
the
be
conversation
digressing.
will be-
And the goat.
The
not
goat.
To be outdone.
There we go.
The goat and jet powered. With that's the dream still alive. Highlights of the day, guys. Constitution Hill, unbelievable. 176. Champion hurdle all the way now. Right, where does he go next? That's what we want to know.
Have we seen the Champion Hurdle and Gold Cup winner all on one Super Saturday?
No,
Press.
seen the champion hurdle winner. That's
Tell you
it.
what, Ascot will be kicking themselves, aren't they? Because that is great to see. After last week, Mark, for these two horses to come out and show it, it's just wonderful race planning, isn't it?
Yeah, Constitution Hill, very, very impressive. I don't really think you could blame Ascot last week, in my opinion. There's a lot of things that factor, but Constitution Hill is going to put it all to bed now. Absolutely bolted up today. Odds on now, 4 to 6, 4 to 7 places for the big one.
Yeah, and keep the rain coming, please, this winter. Well done to Sam and Will in the gallery, and it was lovely to have John Bond Philby clipping up for us as well. All right, this has been Racing Post Live. We will be back next Saturday for the Betfair Tingle Creek.